Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from, or good middle of the night if you're in Australia or wherever you are in the world. Great to see you. Hope you got some great notes from yesterday. We have a action-packed day 2 for you today. I'm excited to be able to share that with you. The couple things as we start that I want to talk to you about. Everything that we're talking about is about legacy, purpose, being able to create freedom for yourself, freedom for people on your team, to be able to improve the lives of others, and to do it as a result of your leadership, your vision, your competence, your skills, your ability to be able to influence others. Influence is what we're looking for. Having an impact on other people's attitudes, on other people's actions, on other people's behavior, on other people's results, because of what you created or what you decided to do. Now, one thing I want to say up front is we got some overwhelming feedback yesterday. People were really excited about the ability to re-watch what happened yesterday. And today is going to be even more dense and compact. So I hope you're ready to take your notes, you get rid of your distractions, you're really ready to go. So people have been asking for replay. So here's what we did. For anybody that's watching this that would like to get unlimited replay access to this 6 hours instead of just the 24 hours, there's a $100 upgrade you can do, and just click on that button for $100. You'll have it in your library forever. You'll have it online forever. You have access to it forever. You can review it. You can bring team members over and sit down with them, have them watch it with you. That's available. Do we have that up on the? It's either to the right of your screen, of this screen, or it's below, depending on what kind of device you're watching this on. You can click on that anytime, and you can upgrade, okay? And we are going to make this available to the public later, because we had tons of leaders yesterday say, I need my team to get this. So people involved in the Next Level Mastermind, they have access to this for free, obviously, and access to the replay for free. That's part of the perks of being a member in the Next Level Mastermind. Everybody else, you paid $300 for this program and $100 for the lifetime replay. We're going to make this available for $500 after the fact for other people. You know, just so you know, you'll see it. So you'll always have gotten a better price for taking the early action. And also just know you have the bonus course, the Unstoppable Confidence course, that was included in the registration for this. Okay, so anyway, just that's that. Also, we'll be reminding you about Next Level Mastermind and Beyond Leadership. One other thing I will tell you is people involved in the Next Level Mastermind can come to Beyond Leadership at half price. So you might want to think about bundling. If you're thinking about doing one of the two, maybe you bundle it together in order to be able to figure that out. All right. Leadership. Leadership is the key to the game, and what we're trying to create. I mean, I think an important goal number 1 is financial freedom for yourself. Okay? Goal number 1, financial freedom for you. Goal number 2 is financial freedom for the team. Okay? While you're impacting people with the value of your products and services. So, in talking about this idea of financial freedom, there's a big difference between having a cash flow lifestyle business and having financial freedom. Here's a good way to ask the question. God forbid something happens to your company and your company ceases to exist. How financially free are you? Do you have, and the financial freedom, one of the good definitions I heard from Jim Rohn was The ability to live off the resources of your own assets. The ability to live from the return from your investments. Or to have enough cash to be able to live the way you want to live for the rest of your life. I believe you need to have two businesses. Write this into your notes, please. Two businesses, two income streams that are very, very important. One is your network marketing cash flow, your network marketing commissions, your network marketing paycheck. And people too often in network marketing, they count on that as the only thing. They're so focused on that, they don't worry about anything else, they just focus on that. Collars go all over the place. So that's one source of income, and most of you have that source. The second source of income needs to be the return of the cash flow created from your investments. And you need to be able to, the goal needs to be to have your investment income stream to be higher per year than your network marketing income stream. That needs to be a major priority for you. And I want to bring on a gentleman who I've known for a long time, and he has practiced this discipline for a good portion of his career, if not his entire career. Brian Carruthers. Brian, are you on the line with me? Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy?
Awesome, good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Now, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and I'm going to have you give some people some advice, okay? Question number one, and we can talk kind of frankly inside of this because it's not being shared on social. This is a private kind of leadership conversation. So first question is, how much have you earned in network marketing commissions over the course of your career?
About $25 million.
About $25 million. And that's over the course of how many years?
21 with current company and 3.5 before that, part-time.
Okay. Yeah, the 3.5 before that wasn't that much income, was it?
Total of about 15,000.
That was my company. We sold that company to another company, then Brian skyrocketed, took off, so hey, you never know where you start and you never know what's going to happen. So that's number one, is 25 million. Question number two, if you're willing to share it. What is your current net worth approximately?
I don't want to share a number, but I will say that it is higher than what I've earned. And that's the key, that we'll be shooting for.
Yes. Okay, so it's higher than 25 million. So I want to ask everybody watching this, how much have you earned in your network marketing career? And is your net worth higher than your lifetime income? You took your income, paid your bills, right? You lived, you paid your taxes. Is your net worth after the fact higher? And if it's not, you need to correct that, okay? So third question, approximately how much do you earn per year in network marketing commissions currently?
Almost 2 million.
Okay, and how much income do you earn? And you can give me a range, or you can give me any kind of formula you want to give me, per year in investment income, approximately.
Yeah, it's 7 figures a year.
So is it higher than your income?
Well,
is it higher than your
as
annual
you know,
income?
It depends. When the markets are rocking, it's higher. When the markets are lower, it still has not gone below $1 million.
It's never gone below $1 million. Or, well, not never, but not recently.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so here's the thing. If, God forbid, something happens to Brian's company, and I don't expect it, but God forbid it did, do you think Brian has any problems? The answer is no. Brian's going to be fine. Matter of fact, one of the things that I admire and respect about Brian is that he continues to work like it was his first year in network marketing, even though he doesn't need to. Even, he continues to lead by example, recruit, work with new lines, all that stuff, when he's like, financially totally fine, I'm good. So Brian, I'd like you to offer, take 4 or 5 minutes and just give people some advice as to what they should do and how they should think from this movement moving forward when it comes to their income and when it comes to their strategy for creating wealth.
For sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. In my opinion, it's all about mindset, the money mindset. Going from a mindset of servicing debt, which is where most people live, to a mindset of building wealth. And Eric, you just said it. I mean, the way I would rephrase what you just said, what is our game? The game is not who's making the most money in the industry. The game is who is keeping and growing their net worth the biggest, and then using their wealth to serve their family and to serve friends and so forth. Another way to put it, don't show me your monthly check, show me your net worth. I have a lot of friends in the industry that have made a lot of money. But if I ask them to show me what's your net worth, they kind of shrink up because they've blown a lot of it. And if you're making $300,000 a year and you go out and buy a Ferrari or a Bentley or a Lambo, you might not be on the right path. And so just because you're making money does not make you financially smart. And I want to talk with you guys today. Please don't take this like I'm trying to be real blunt and talk at you real hard. But this, like Eric said, for as long as he's known me, this has been a very big interest of mine. I've had great mentors. My father was my rich dad, rich dad, poor dad. He had to learn from his friend's father. My father was wildly successful and massively wealthy, but I also got around a lot of amazing mentors, and I learned a lot of this stuff. So a couple things. Number one, don't just teach your team how to make money. That's what most of us do as leaders. Here's how to build a network marketing business. Here's how to make money. No, close the loop. Be holistic about it. You're not changing their life if you're only focusing on teaching them the front end how to make the money. Because if you don't teach them what to do with the money that they make, how to keep the money, how to pay the least amount of taxes, and how to send their money out into the world and have it come back with friends. Like Paul J. Meyer used to say, put overalls on their money so their money is going to work for them while they're sleeping. If you don't teach them the back end, then they're going to have a lot of money coming in potentially on the front end, but it's going to be going right out the back door, and their life is no better. They just lived higher on the hog, but they're not gaining any ground. So a couple of points of advice. Number one, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. 10% minimum of every dollar that you make, you need to pay yourself. And I'm not saying put it into the same bank account that you're operating out of. I'm talking about a separate bank account that is your investment account, that's not your rainy day fund, that you will put away and only take money out to invest in investment vehicles. Okay, then you live off the other 90%. Then as your income starts to rise, your lifestyle does not need to rise at the same clip. So as your income rises, then start investing 20%. Pay yourself 20% first, then 30%, then 40%. I mean, for well over a decade and a half, I've been living off of under 20%. Nowadays, I live off of under 5%. And so pay yourself first. Make sure that you've got to be disciplined. It's got to be a habit. Again, remember, guys, we are all visible people. We are an example, good or bad, we are example. Your exampleship is everything to the people on your team that you claim to care about. So number one, pay yourself first. Number two, pay the taxes the right way. And you're going to be able to hear from people like Courtney Epps, and find somebody that can teach you how to save every dime. Like, don't give the government money that you don't need to be giving them, right? So pay the least amount of taxes and pay it right. Like, July 15th, I just paid my extension for last year, and I paid my second quarterly tax. As an entrepreneur here in the United States, it's going to be different in other countries. Here in the U.S., after you have a year of track record of knowing what you earned last year, and you can project what you should be earning this year, you need to pay your quarterly estimated tax every quarter. So that way, at the end of the year, you don't have your tax bill and go, oh my gosh, what did I do? I spent all my money. Now I can't. What am I going to do now? So be diligent. And then number three, invest your money and invest wisely. And my advice to you guys, it's very easy to get all entrenched in your investments, especially if you're investing in real estate and now you're a property manager. So be careful about that. If you're investing in stocks, make sure that you don't take your eye off your cash cow. Like if you are now watching stock ticker symbols all day long, watching the stock market, and you're no longer keeping your eye on your network marketing business, then the cash cow that was giving you the money to invest in the first place can start to diminish. So find a way to invest. And my advice to you, don't be a day trader. Don't be trying to buy a stock today and try to get out tomorrow or next week. You're just going to it's an addiction, and you're going to wind up getting very distracted. And frankly, you probably are not going to be that great. Like most people are not great at timing the market. So think of it more like an investor than a day trader. Do you want to be Warren Buffett, who buys a stock and holds it for a long time and sees a lot of appreciation, or a day trader? I don't want to be a day trader, so that's why I'm not. The last thing I will share with you guys, and I've got a book, Money Mindset, where I've got on page 44. This is something that's really, really important, and you can use this to recruit, and you can use this to teach financial smarts to your team. I've got a chart in here, and this chart basically shows if you invest a certain amount on a monthly basis based on a 10% compounded return, which is the S&P average over the last 50 years. Just get the S&P index, and this is what you'd expect to get. At a 10% compounded return, it'll tell you 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now how much that money will build into. So for example, $600 a month. Do you find it reasonable that you could teach people that join your business that they can make an extra $600 a month part-time? If you find that that's reasonable, which I do, guess what? Show them how they can take that $600, and instead of spending it, which is what a lot of people do, tell them to live off their job income and invest their network marketing income for those part-timers. So $600 a month, in 10 years, they'll have $123,900. 20 years, $459,000. 30 years, $1.3 million. And 40 years, $3.8 million if they just invest the $600 a month instead of spending it. Now, if you've got somebody who can make $3,000 a month and they can invest that, in 10 years, $619,000, 20 years, $2.3 million, 30 years, $6.8 million, 40 years, $19 million. My point, guys, is if you get the money mindset, if you stop yourself from having a mindset of servicing debt, you make the money, you spend the money, now you got to worry about making more money. That's how most people live, check to check, commission to commission, even in network marketing. Get the money mindset where you're building wealth, and the whole game. Don't show me your monthly network marketing check. I don't give a hoot. Show me your net worth month over month and make sure it's growing. So back to you, Eric.
Brian, thank you so much. Pay yourself first. Pay your taxes right. Pay the least you can under the law. Invest wisely and understand compound interest. Super, super important. I really appreciate you, Brian. Thank you. And the Money Mindset, they can find that book on Amazon or where else?
MoneyMindsetBook.com.
MoneyMindsetBook.com. I would recommend that. Get this thing figured out right. I will tell you, some people, be careful what you put your money into, because if you ever want to learn what it happens in network marketing just the same as happens in sports. There's a 30 for 30 episode on ESPN called Broke, which I'd recommend that you watch, which is all about athletes who got big money and ended up broke. Kurt Schilling got $100 million in his career and he was broke. Guys got $5 million signing bonuses, broke. You know what they did? They handed over their money to managers who stole from them, and they didn't pay attention to it because they were too focused on their sports. Or they put money into Ray's car wash, or some family members, big idea. Be careful where can you get your money out? Is it protected? Are you being smart with this? I understand that I'm not going to be a sophisticated investor. Brian's much more sophisticated than I am in stocks, for example, or real estate. But I have done my research to find people who are really, really smart and find a way to participate with intelligent people that live with it every single day. And then I monitor all of those people. I inspect what I expect. I literally make sure that we audit the people that are in charge of the money to make sure that the money's, how many stories do you need to see on American Greed that somebody took somebody's money because they handed it over to them and the person says, well, I guess if you're just going to give it to me, I guess I'll just take it. They just can't help it. So make sure that you watch your money, make sure that you take a look. And what Marina and I do is we have a monthly net worth report. I just looked at ours for July over the last couple of days. A monthly net worth report that lists everything to be able to see what's that number at the bottom, and is it going up or is it going down? You should do the same thing. So and again, Brian, thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. And next, I want to talk about taxes. And I know some of you are like, oh, taxes. Look, there's virtually every single one of you has a refund coming. You just don't know it. And we have a tax expert on with us. Her name is Courtney Epps. Courtney, you there? Oh, you're muted. Oh, say it again. Nope, you're muted. Can you unmute it again? Sorry. Nope, can't hear you.
I am not muted.
Oh, there you are. I hear you now.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we got Courtney here, Public Accountant Drive behind her. And Courtney, I want to ask you a few questions and then have you offer a little bit of advice. And I know you have something that you can help people with. You help people specifically in network marketing with their taxes. When you review somebody's taxes, typically how much money do you save them per year in taxes when you take a look at what they can deduct legally?
So if we have someone who's just new to network marketing and goes from a W-2 employee to a home-based business, is $4,000 to $7,000 a year, and then we are finding
for anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you move over into the second tax system, which is called the business owner system, that was created to provide wealth for you instead of just being in the W-2 system, which was created to steal your wealth, whether you like it or not, that's the way it works. That system allows you now as a business owner to save between $4,000 and $8,000. But when we are having conversations, doing tax strategy sessions, we're finding between typically at least $4,000 to $50,000 every single time we're having conversations.
Between $4,000 and $50,000. And here's what I'm saying, especially for the people on this inside of this event, between $4,000 and $50,000 per year in legal tax savings.
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate? And second, I would just say, how far back can you go to be able to go look back? Because most of the people that are watching this probably have overpaid on their taxes. How far back can you go to be able to go get a refund on previous years?
The cool thing is any year that you owe, you can go back. It doesn't matter how long it's been. But typically it's 3 years from the date of filing.
So up to 3 years from the date of filing. So we just had tax day here in the United States. So up to 3 years back from that, you can go back and look at and see how much of a return you can get.
Yes, and so if somebody owed money back in 2011, you can actually go back and amend that as well. So any year that you owe money or 3 years from the date of filing, whichever one's later.
Okay. So there's so many things, and I have so much I need to cover over the course of these next 2.5 hours. So we can't go deep on this, and we got some stuff that we're going to be putting out on social, Courtney and I, soon. But Courtney, the one thing I wanted you to do is let people know you do a tax. What do you call it?
Tax strategy session.
A tax strategy session. You could do a tax strategy session for every single person watching this event, and you charge, what, $97, $99?
Yes.
Which one? 97
it's $97.
$97. So for $97, she will look at your last year's or last 2 years, last 3 years, or whatever, tax returns and find out what she could do for you as far as helping you get refunds. And if she doesn't find much more than that $97, she'll give you that strategy session for free. But her experts, she's got a whole team that all they do is focus on network marketing. Spend the $97 and have her see how much money she can save you. And then take that money and invest it wisely to start creating a better future for yourself. Okay, $97. What's the link that people can go to in order to be able to get that strategy session?
We made it super short, so it's a bit.ly, so bit.ly / and then it's GoPro Tax.
bit.ly /GoPro Tax. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Fantastic. Courtney, thank you very much. And everybody, I hope you take advantage of it. Courtney's helped. What's the most you've saved somebody that's a network marketing professional? What's the most?
1.8 million. And then the next is, that was this year. And then we had a client that overpaid 3 years. It was $110,000 a year that they overpaid.
$110,000 a year that they overpaid. What would you guess? I know we can't hold you to that, but if somebody's making 6 figures a year inside of network marketing, what would you guess? Round numbers.
I mean, it is. We're always finding between $30,000 and $40,000 in deductions, which would be at least $10,000 to $15,000, maybe even more, depending on their tax bracket.
All right, fantastic. Courtney, thank you very much. Everybody, I hope you take advantage of that. And we'll send the link out to you, and we'll put it into the chat comments so you can check it out. bit.ly / GoProTax.com. Is that more simple?
I don't think you need to do .com, just /
GoPro Tax. Okay, no, you don't have to do the .com. All right, it's in the notes. All right, fantastic. That seems like it's simpler. It doesn't feel like it's simpler to me, but maybe it is. Anyway, look, now we got the finance stuff kind of figured out. Let's get into some more leadership training. I have a lot that I want to cover, so I'm going to be covering in kind of 10, 15-minute blocks. I'll pick a topic. We're going to bang it. Then we'll go to the next topic, bang that, go to the next topic, bang that, okay? There's a key person philosophy that Jordan Adler, my friend Jordan, shared with me once that I want to share with you. And here's the philosophy, a key person, okay? Key person. We talk about key people on your team. A key person, number one, calls you. Number two, shows up. And number three, does something. I think that's pretty interesting, you know, and again, how do you identify these things? You give them an assignment, tell them to call you. You give them an assignment, tell them to show up. You give them an assignment to do something, right? And you calibrate those assignments based upon whether they do them or not. You can make them harder or easier based upon if they do something. And the second thing he shared was a key leg. Trying to develop a key line of sponsorship, a key leg. And the way he identified this is at least 4 deep of key people. 4 deep of key people. So at least 4 levels deep or 4 people deep of key people, people who call you, show up, and do something. Okay, so a key leg, and I love these little 1, 2, 3s. I love these little 3 things. This is a nice little training that you could do for your team. This little key person, key leg training. Interesting little 15-minute training that you could do with your organization or do in your next Zoom in order to be able to encourage the right type of behavior. 1 key leg. If you have a key leg, 1 key leg equals a car. 2 key legs equals a house. 3 key legs equals full-time, or replace your income. You can go full-time. 4 key legs equals financial freedom. and 5 key legs equals wealth. Isn't that clever? I think that's pretty accurate too. Develop a key person with assignments, calibrate up or down, calls you, shows up, does something. And a key leg, develop key legs, 4 deep of key people. Get one of those, you can get a car and pay for it. 2 of those, a house, 3 of those, go full time. 4 of those, get freedom. 5 of those, develop wealth. Okay? Can you throw the chat back up on the screen for me? So that's one thing that I thought I would share with you, a good little note, something that you can capture and maybe take a screenshot of that in order to be able to use. I'm always collecting these little trainings and these little ideas because what will this little training do for me? What this training will do for me is will give me a quick little Zoom I could do for the team that would cause them to do what? Take more action. Take a step. Move forward, right? Create some activity that wouldn't have been there. Get people to focus on developing key people and key legs. See what I'm saying? Very simple. So I really love that. Next, I want to give you quickly 10 attributes of the super successful. John, for the notes that you could throw up on the screen, this is on page 2. 10 attributes of the super successful. Attribute number 1. And put these into your notes. This is another little training you can do, and this is something that is valuable to understand. When I look at the super successful inside of network marketing, number 1, they know why they're doing what they're doing. They have strong reasons. They know why. And it's not just to make money. They know why they're doing it, their purpose, their cause, their legacy, to help other people, to have an impact, and to make money, help other people do the same. They know why they're doing what they're doing, number 1. Number 2, they expect success. They expect to win. They expect to go to the top rank. They expect to be a $1 million Hall of Famer. They expect success. Number 3, they have a burning desire. I mean, they want this big time. They're really, really burning as far as they want to make this work. Their intensity is incredible. So number 3, they have a burning desire. Number 4, they have a strong belief. They believe in network marketing. They believe in their company. They believe in their products. They believe in their people. They believe in their team. They believe in their system. They believe in their tools. They believe in themselves. Their belief is unshakable, unstoppable. They have strong belief. Number 5, they treat this like a business. This is not play time. This is not story time. This is not goof around time. They treat this like a business. They set their hours. They set their intentions. They treat this seriously, where other people treat it like a hobby. Many people in network marketing disrespect the opportunity. I mean, people who could not make 6 figures a year or would struggle to make 6 figures a year in the corporate world will totally disrespect a $250,000 income in network marketing. They're just like, yeah, it's just $250,000. They'll just disrespect it like crazy, but they couldn't replace it. They'll act so casual about their network marketing income when they'd have to bust their ass for years inside of the corporate structure in order to be able to get something anywhere similar. The super successful do not do that. They do not disrespect it, and they don't take it for granted. They don't abuse it. They appreciate it. They cherish it. They treat it like a business. Number 6, they have written goals. They have goals that are written down. They have goals that are clear. They always have them. And we're going to be talking about goals in the last session of today to create a 12-month game plan. But The super successful are always working on the next thing. What's the next thing? What's the next goal? What's the next achievement? Not because they're addicted to achievement, but they're addicted to progress. So think about the super successful. I promise you they've got written goals. Number 7, they team up with someone or sometimes with many people. They find people who are good at what they're not good at. They find people, let's say they're not a technical person. They find a person that is technical. Let's say that they're not a detail person. They find somebody to help them that's detailed. They team up with people who will push them to go farther. Like people inside the Next Level Mastermind, they're pushing each other all the time. You know, one shares an idea and the other one goes, oh, that's a good idea. I got that. Okay, I'm gonna go this. So they team up. They're okay teaming up with people in order to be able to create more progress faster. Number 8 is they enroll constantly. Some people, like Brian, enrolls consistently month over month. Other people, like myself, enroll in bunches. When I was in the field, I enrolled in bunches because I got really bored with the mundane daily activities. So I need something that has a beginning, middle, and an end to get excited. So I would do a 20 and 30. Or I would bring in, I would go on a campaign around some occupation. I'd bring in a bunch of people. So they're constantly, the top, I guess another way to say this for the super successful, they're not leaning on their old team all the time. Yes, they're supporting the old team. The people who are not long-term super successful, you know what they do? They just support their old team over and over and over and over and over again. And some of them haven't brought in a new team in years. They're just trying to milk the old team. They're not growing anything new. The super successful always have new growth. They're always leading by example. Number 9, they're continually developing themselves. They're continually getting coached, getting mentored. They're continually reading, watching, taking notes, getting better, improving their skills. They're constantly developing themselves. They never get too cool to grow. And number 10, they're persistent. There's a great book on persistence called Grit. I think they have grit, this gritty attribute, this gritty personality that they're just not going to be stopped. Can't get rid of them. They're just decide they're going to go, and they do it in face of anything else. They're just absolutely committed. So those are 10 attributes of the super successful. They know why they're doing it. They expect success. They've got a burning desire. They have strong belief. They treat this like a business. They've got written goals. They team up with someone or many people. They enroll constantly. They continually develop themselves, and they're persistent. They have grit. The name of the book is Grit. Duckworth, I believe, is the person who wrote the book. Okay. Let's switch gears. And I want to talk to you about balance and time management. Balance and time management. You could write this into your notes, or depending on your belief system, sometimes I think strong words are helpful. I believe that balance is bullshit when it comes to entrepreneurs, when it comes to people who change the world. You want to change the world? This is not a 9-to-5 thing. You want to totally revolutionize your company and your future and change your family history? This is not a dial it in and have everything balanced. I think that people misunderstand balance. People misunderstand it. They think that every day you need to have, some time for yourself, some time for fitness, some time for reading and reflection, some time for prayer, some time for kids, some time for fun, some time for work, and you need to balance all this stuff out. I've never seen it. I've never seen anyone achieve anything of significance without one key element. Can you give me a fresh page, please? Fresh page. Thank you. And here's the key elements. I spell that right? I think I did. Obsession. Leaders are obsessed. They're obsessed with their purpose. They're obsessed with creation. They're obsessed with growth. They're obsessed with contribution. They're obsessed with helping other people. They're obsessed with spreading the word about their product or service. They're obsessed with the development of their people. They're obsessed. I watched a master class with Steve Martin. He was talking about comedy. And he says, you want to get good at comedy? You need to think about comedy all the time. You need to surround yourself with friends who think about comedy all the time. You need to be writing comedy all the time. You need to be performing comedy all the time. You need to be walking through the world and looking for things that might be funny all the time. I don't know of anyone that's ever achieved anything significant in network marketing without a level of obsession, including your founders, including your corporate executives. I'm just telling you, this is the thing. And listen to me. People who are not as extraordinary as you will try to make you feel guilty and faulty and wrong for your obsession. They'll try to make you feel bad for your dedication to improving the world. They'll do everything they can to lay the guilt on you that there's something wrong with you. But there isn't anything wrong with you. You're changing the world. One of my favorites just recently is Elon Musk. I'm a big Elon Musk fan. I think he's literally a living Iron Man. A short while ago, or several years ago, he made it publicly known that he wanted to have a mission to Mars. And he wanted to populate and colonize Mars. And I saw an interview with him, and he's a very analytical guy. And he was on 60 Minutes. You can look it up on YouTube. He's on 60 Minutes. And maybe you guys, can you find that? Is that possible to find? Elon Musk crying on 60 Minutes? Can you even play it on the thing or no? Is it possible? But see if you can find it. Can you play it from his side with sound or no?
Might be able to do mine. Did you find it?
Can you play it? Yeah, play it. Does audio work?
Well, I suppose that's correct.
No, go all the way to the back.
You can't do this. Your answer to that is, we're done.
He's done it in partnership with NASA, which has given SpaceX technical advice and a contract worth up to $1.6 billion, mostly for 12 cargo flights to the space station. But SpaceX SpaceX's lack of experience bothers some NASA legends, like Apollo astronauts Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan. They testified to Congress that the Obama administration's drive to commercialize space could compromise safety and eventually
Sound doesn't work?
cost the taxpayers.
Now it's time to overrule this administration's pledge to mediocrity. You know, there are American heroes
Okay,
who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have
Just pause it.
testified.
okay, come back to me.
That you don't know what you don't know.
Well, I suppose that's true of anyone. How can anyone know what they don't know?
But when critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
We've done this.
He's done it in partnership with NASA, which has given SpaceX technical advice and a contract worth up to $1.6 billion, mostly for 12 cargo flights to the space station. But SpaceX's lack of experience bothers some NASA legends, like Apollo astronauts Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan. They've testified to Congress that the Obama administration's drive to commercialize space could compromise safety and eventually cost the taxpayers.
Now is the time to overrule this administration's pledge to mediocrity.
you know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. You know, I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
So they're hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone. And I would hope for as much support in that direction as we can receive.
All right. We're back here. So the reason why I wanted you to see that is this is a person who dedicated his whole life, his obsession is to make the world a better place, to be able to provide value to the world. He put his whole world around it, right? And then his heroes gave him a hard time. And I was so pleased, I teared up when they just he just launched astronauts to the International Space Station wildly successfully. And it's coming around now, but I mean, for years he was just laughed at and stock was shorted and everybody made fun of him. Same thing happened with Steve Jobs. Same thing happened with Richard Branson. Same thing happened with all the different people that have tried to do something outrageous and amazing. They get pounded on for their obsession and for what they want to create in the world. So I don't want you to buy into the bullshit. I don't want you to buy into somebody telling you need to slow down. Slow down. What's the matter with you? Slow down. Never, ever apologize for following your purpose in this life. Never apologize for bringing value to others. Never apologize for your journey. This is your journey. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to neglect your family. It doesn't mean that you need to neglect your relationships. You can have strong relationships. You can have a strong family and build a business, but you need to set the expectation and let people understand. I will tell you, if you know somebody who's related to a professional athlete, you know the game that you're in. If you're married to a professional football player, you know the game you're in. There's training camp, and then there's the season, and on Sundays you don't book birthday parties because you know the game you're in. You've got to communicate with people in your life in order to be able to let them know that the game you're in and what's important for you and what's important for your future and what's important for the family. So, obsession, first of all, I think is required, and I think you should not apologize. Now, how do you keep the relationships in the health that you need to keep in order to be able to manage effectively a full and healthy life? With your loved ones, Maureen and I do a relationship, we talked about this, with your family, communication, respect, and trust are the three pillars that are vitally important. You need to communicate with your family why you're doing what you're doing. You need to communicate with your family what the expectations are. You need to negotiate with your family and sometimes turn your phone off. You need to negotiate with your family and create some healthy boundaries. You need to work with everybody so the kids and the family members understand what you're doing, what the hours are, how it works, how there's different seasons in your life. Seasons when it's really hardcore, seasons when it's relaxed. You need to communicate all of this, and you need to overly communicate. Keep repeating it until there becomes a rhythm within the family. There needs to be mutual respect. You need to not be sitting on your phone while there's a family dinner or a meaningful conversation happening inside of the family. So there needs to be respect of them, same way that they're going to be, you're asking them to respect you. And this will build trust over time if you communicate your purpose, what you're doing, how everybody fits in. You have mutual respect, which is absolutely the most vital thing. You're going to get resistance if people feel disrespected. You're going to get support if people feel respected. Simple as that. But I will tell you, Maureen and I, sometimes we feel like we're aliens or something, because we'll be on a yacht in the middle of the south of France with friends cruising around between the Amalfi Coast and the, Saint-Tropez, and we'll still be talking about business. We'll still be talking about, what are we going to be doing for GoPro Recruiting Mastery? We're still going to be talking about what's the next book or what's the next project. Or will I ever finish the next book? That's what we talked about last night at dinner. So we're always talking about it. Why? Because it's our purpose, it's our passion, it's our mission, it's our baby. Working with you, helping you. That's why we do what we do. So make sure, it's okay to be obsessed, but make sure that with family and loved ones that you have communication, respect, and you build trust through the process. Now, one of the things that you need to do if you really want to go to the next level, guard your time and attention. Like, I was just up in Minnesota with my kids and my grandkids, almost all of them. Danny and Ala weren't there for Corona reasons, not because they have it, but because the border issues. They're in Europe currently. But everybody else was there. And my daughter's reading this book, and in this book, the author puts his phone number in the book and says, call me anytime you want. And he gets literally 100 phone calls a day, and he just really loves this availability. I found that to be the most ridiculous thought I've ever heard. You imagine being around this person? Can you imagine going to the movies with this person? The person's getting 5 phone calls during the movie. Going to dinner with this person's getting 8 phone calls during dinner. Going on a walk with this person's getting 12 phone calls during the walk. I believe if you want to be successful and have good relationships with your life, you need to guard your time and attention. There's things that you need to be doing, there's things you need to not be doing. You need to be able to say no as much as you say yes. There needs to be some times when you say no, that's for other people to do, I'm not going to do that right now. And sometimes you need to say yes, that's something that only I could do. Okay? So I want to give you a couple things on this, and I know we're going over a little bit on the break, but we'll take a break in a few minutes. I got mentored by a few different billionaires over the course of my life, and what I learned from the super successful is they focus on what they can do, what they do well, and they don't pay any attention to what they don't do well. And my first lesson came from a gentleman by the name of Paul Meyer. And I asked Paul, I said, can you mentor me? And he said, yeah. He said, well, what's one of your goals? I said, well, one of my goals is to make $1 million a year. He said, Eric, is there something you can do that would pay you about $500 an hour? $500 an hour. Because $500 an hour is about $1 million a year. Is there something you can do in network marketing that would pay you $500 an hour? And actually, if you break it down, time spent talking to a prospect or a team's prospect is worth $500 an hour. Whether you are inviting them, presenting to them, following up with them, getting them started. Any of those things, okay? $500 an hour. And I said, well, yeah, if I'm talking to a prospect, I could earn that. He said, okay, anything that you're currently doing that pays less than $500 an hour, you need to have somebody else do. I was like, what? He said, do you mow your lawn? I said, yep. I put my little headphones on and I mow the lawn. He said, how much would you pay somebody else to mow the lawn? I don't know, $25? He said, every hour you spend mowing the lawn, you're losing $475. You're not saving the $25. You're losing $475. I was like, whoa, come on. I mean, so I need to not do anything that pays less than $500 an hour? He said, let me clarify. Anything that emotionally doesn't matter. He said, so having somebody else tuck your kids in and read them a bedtime story is not something that you need to have somebody else do, right? If you want to drive your kids to school because you want to, that's fine. You want to tuck your kids in, fine. You want to make your kids dinner because it's a labor of love, fine. But do you really need to do the laundry? Do you really need to go to the grocery store? Do you really need to fix the door? Do you really need to clean out the garage? Do you really need to be the handyman? Do you really need to go run that errand? And that moment, I stopped doing virtually anything that pays less than that. I stopped doing at that time anything that pays less than $500 an hour. My number is much higher now. And it feels weird when you first do it. So step one, identify your highest and best activities. Things only you can do, things that pay the most. Step 2, identify all time wasters. Step 3, delegate all of those time-wasting tasks to someone else. All of them. And step 4, use the time that you just gained Sorry. Don't do that. Use the time that you just gained for your highest and best activities. So, you cannot afford, ladies, you cannot afford to do the laundry. You cannot afford to clean your house. You cannot afford to do all the errands. You cannot afford to be a slave to every single person for every single thing. You cannot afford it. You cannot afford to be handy. You cannot afford to be thrifty. You need to be spending as much time as you can doing highest and best activities. And what this also does is if you have a support system doing things for you. I don't do anything. I literally don't. Marina's over there laughing. I don't do anything. I don't go to the store to buy clothes. People bring clothes to me. I don't go to the grocery store. I'm not handy. I don't have any tools. I don't pay my own bills. I don't open the mail. I take a look at a report. I don't do my own taxes. I have professionals do that. I don't do anything other than what I was put to do, or put here on the earth to do. I just don't. So find some, in our house, every day right now we have a support system of 4 people in the studio, but there's probably another 4 people in the house doing stuff. Whatever they're doing the stuff. They're making the bed. They're cleaning the sink. They're getting the toothpaste off of the sink. They've got dripped in there. They're taking care of all that stuff. Because guess what? I don't have time for it. And you've got to figure out how to get out of your head with this. You are giving up your purpose and your legacy to run around. But think about the time you can save with this, and then you can invest that back into your kids and be present. Invest that back and go on a date. Invest that back and go have fun. Create a support system that does the things that you're not great at or pays you less than you're currently worth. And every one of you that's watching this right now is worth this $500 an hour. If you will take the time to make sure that you're in front of prospects. You can't just have somebody clean the house while you sit back and watch television. You got to be talking to prospects. That's the investment part of it, okay? All right, so we'll take a quick break. When you'll see more testimonials, or the same ones, or new ones. One more set of people talking about the Next Level Mastermind. It's an incredible group. If you want to learn more about that, click on the links to be able to do that. There's a replay link for Six Figure Summit. Hope you take advantage of that. Beyond Leadership and Next Level Mastermind. We'll be back in 7 minutes.
If you're a 6- and 7-figure income earner, you understand the power of a mastermind. Most of us, we're involved in our companies, we mastermind with people in our teams and our companies, but what we don't do is mastermind with the best minds in the profession. And what Eric and Marina have put together here is a vehicle, a tool, an event, and a number of events where the best minds in the profession get to mastermind together to take our profession to the next level. Now, why that's important is because if we as a group can mastermind taking the profession to the next level, what's going to happen is that it's going to benefit separate companies, your company, my company, as we are able to take this knowledge into our various companies and lift up the skill sets, the vision, the knowledge base in our individual teams and our individual companies. So what I actually want to say to you is that us as 6 and 7 figure income earners, we almost have an obligation to engage in this mastermind, not only for our own benefits, but for the benefits of the entire network marketing profession. If you're not in this yet because you think it costs too much, my message to you is that not being here is costing you more. This is an investment. Make it. We'll see you here soon.
What's going on, guys? My name is Julia Thornhill. In the last 6 months, our income has almost doubled since being in this mastermind. I think of it like this. You can't be a prophet in your own land. It's kind of like that 1 degree, that boiling point. When it comes to leadership, culture, systems, communication, learning from some of the best in the industry has been one of the best decisions we've ever made for our career. So I am just so grateful to Marina and Eric for what they've put together here in the last few years, and we've been a part of it this past year, and it's been one of the best decisions of our careers. So in my opinion, this isn't an expense. This is an investment into your future, into your business, into your team. It's been one of the best decisions we've ever made, and I cannot wait to see you in the mastermind.
What is up? This is Carlos German, and I want to tell you a quick story, guys. Listen, I was growing my organization in this business and encountered some big, high-level leadership challenges and encountered some system challenges. I ended up being frustrated, down, not knowing what to do, looking for answers, and trying to figure out what was the best way to break through and to get to that next level. And that's when I found this next level mastermind. And for me, it was an opportunity to break through those challenges, get to that higher rank, be able to put those pieces together. So the simple systems to get me to continue to grow my organization, to grow as a leader, to bring value to everybody that's part of my team. And it's just been amazing. So I want to encourage you to make the investment. Listen, once you're on this side, you realize the following. This is the best deal in the industry. There's just nothing like it. For the price, it's just a no-brainer. So you want to make sure you get it done. Ever since I joined this mastermind, I have experienced so much more calmness, tranquility, ease, because now I have simple systems that are duplicatable and my team is running with them. Because now I know the leadership principles that I needed to be able to support others and to be able to empower others to lead, to grow their teams, and to do amazing things. So I'm telling you, go make the investment. I want to see you here, and I want to see you solve your challenges and continue to grow into the next and the next and the next level. I want to see you here at the Next Level Mastermind with Eric Worre.
The Next Level Mastermind has been so incredible for me. I can tell you that I have learned so many things. The caliber of the people that are in this mastermind is so incredible. There are so many tips, there are so many ideas, so many secret weapons from all of these top income earners that I have learned. And I think that you should be on the Next Level Mastermind. You need to sign up immediately because your business is going to go 10 years ahead. I think that if I had known this information, I would have been in another place. So really take this seriously. This is the place to be. This is the most amazing group of individuals, and you need to sign up. Sign up today.
And we are back. Welcome back. I do want to talk to you a little bit more about some balance ideas. I want to give you some structure to the balance when it comes to time, okay? Where you're spending your time. Out of 100%, I would spend about 5% of your total time on finance, wealth, tax strategy, investment, about 5% of your working time on that, okay? I would spend about 15% of your time on campaigns, campaign creation, systems, culture, kind of leadership generally. And then the remaining 80%, this is what's going to mess most of you up. Call this a new 100%. I want you to take 25% of your time of this 80 on existing team. And 75% of this time on new team. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see leaders make, is they spend 75% of their time on existing team, 25% of their time on new team. So 25% of 80 is 20, right? So if I broke this all the way down, it'd be 5% on money, 15% on, call it systems, and 20% existing team, and 60% new team. Now, I'd like you to think about where you're spending your time now. Most of you are spending like 90% of your time with your existing team. And you're wondering why you're not getting better results. Most of you. Now, not the top earners, but most of you. Can you throw the chat back up, please? So you need to discipline how much time you're spending with your existing team. You need to keep this time focused on assignments. Develop relationships, build relationships, touch base, give them assignments, work with that existing team through providing assignments. But you need to be working with new team, developing new lines, bringing in the class of 2020, okay? So 5% on money, 15% on systems, campaigns, culture, strategy, 20% on existing team, 60% on new team, okay? I'd like you to evaluate how much time you're spending now, and this is kind of like the gold standard. This is the platinum standard. If I'm talking to the big earners, the top earners, this is about where they're at. This is about where they're at. When they get stagnant, they get stuck, is when this flip-flops. Or they're not spending, or they spend 90% of their time on systems because they get really excited about systems. So they spend 90% here, and then they stop communicating or connecting as much with existing and new. Or they're not spending any time on their finance and their wealth and their taxes or anything else. They're just totally, well, I'm too busy, I'm too busy, I'm too busy. So this is a kind of a good framework. And for those of you who are top earners, give me your comments on this framework as far as if this aligns with or if it's helpful for you, or if it aligns with what you've been doing in order to be able to become successful. Because this is a growth time management system. You will lose this if these numbers fall out of balance. You'll just lose this. All right. Hope that's helpful. And the comments still working? Because I'm not seeing anything. All right, cool. Okay, I got that, I get that, I get that, I get that, I get that. That. All right, new page, please. There's key performance indicators. What were they called? KPIs, key performance indicators. What are the measurements that matter the most inside of network marketing? What are the measurements that matter most? If you're going to be tracking your success, obviously customers. Are you adding customers? Distributors. Are you adding distributors? Retention. Are you keeping people? Are you losing them? Are you? What's the trend going? Right. The core rank, event attendance, super recruiters. Remember we talked about the 10 or more, that super recruiter group, that 2%? Obviously you need to track all these, but if I was anytime I'm working with a company or if I'm working with you, I'll tell you what I'm going to start with and focus on. Core rank. Core rank. This right here is one of the most important measurements for the health of an organization I've ever seen in my career. Driving this number, improving the health of this measurement is the most effective way I'm aware of to track the health of an organization and to improve the health of an organization. There's nothing better that I've ever seen. You can have lots of recruiting and your organization can be extremely unhealthy. You can have lots of customer gathering. Your organization can be extremely vulnerable. But if you have core rank growth in that metric, then the health of your organization and the ability to have more raw materials in the form of people to be able to develop into leaders, the ability to do that goes up dramatically. So let's talk about core rank. A core rank is a rank, and if I'm talking with you, we would look at your compensation plan and we would figure out what your core rank is. But let me give you a few measurements that help to identify what a core rank is. A core rank usually earns a qualified person that's ranked between $300 and $500 a month. It's relatively easy to get to with a focused burst of activity and energy. It usually has some structure. You can't just get there necessarily. I mean, sometimes you can, but usually not just getting there on retail sales alone. There's some structure in it somewhere. You know, usually like 2 lines of 2 or something, 6 people on the team, 10 people on the team, 12 people on the team, somewhere in that range. So think about what your rank is that would meet that criteria. reasonably easy. There's some structure to it. People can usually get there with a push in 30 to 60 days. And it earns $300 a month, $400 a month, $500 a month. So put in the comments, what would your core rank be in your company? What comes to mind, okay? Now, a lot of times people pick a core rank that is tough, that's too hard, it's too aspirational, it's too high. And remember, people are dealing with fear, and we want to get some progress. We're trying to get some progress within the organization, so we want to have something to celebrate. Something to celebrate, and whatever that level is for you, I want you to think about it, okay? Get it clear in your mind. And if you're between two, you're like, it could be this, it might be that, it could be this, might be that, go to the easier one, okay? Go to the easier one, whatever the easier one is for you. Now, if you've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, let's say it's January. And in the month of January, you had 7 people. 7 people qualified for the first time at your core rank. What needs to happen is, first of all, you need to know the number. And let me give you a couple assignments. First assignment, make sure from this moment forward, you always know the number every month. Good, bad, or indifferent. You always know the number. Number one. Number two, reconstruct as many previous months as you can, as the company will let you. If you have a reporting function inside of your back office, look back in the last 12 months and what's the trend? Put into a spreadsheet, what are the numbers each month? And you will see a frightening, for most of you, a frightening trend. You know, like for some of you that are having a lot of growth in the last 120 days, you'll see that this number has grown dramatically in the last 120 days. So you need to make sure that this number always goes up, never goes down. This is the best way I know to measure health within an organization, is if this number is going up, I can predict the success of that organization. If this number is going up, these people are going to learn the skills. If this number is going up, more people are going to become leaders. If this number is going up, if this number is staying the same, you're treading water. You're losing them as fast as you're bringing them in. This is so critical. February has to be an 8 or more. Has to. March has to be a 9 or more. April has to be plus. Has to. So now it comes up to creativity. How are you going to make sure that it goes up? If this is the only way you got paid, literally, I want you to be thinking, what if this was the only way I got paid? The only way I made money is based upon the number of new core rank qualifiers each month. That was the only way I got paid. And if you acted as if it was the only way you got paid, and if you didn't grow the number, you didn't get paid at all, your future's easy. This is the easiest cheat I know in network marketing. This is the easiest code to break that I know in network marketing. Trick your brain, forget about recruiting, forget about customers. I will just tell you, these things are all great. This thing is thermonuclear. This thing's unbelievable. This thing is just an absolute perfect situation. So how If you got paid just for this, nothing else, just for this result each month, what would you do different? What would you do different? So let's just take, for example, the month of, let's say the month of July, the month of June, you had 10 people, and you have to grow it in the month of July. How would you do it? I would give you some things that you could do every month. One, that you could do right this second, is ask. Who wants to go core rank in the month of July? Ask every single person on your team. As deep as it goes, doesn't matter where it is. Teach your leaders to ask it, you ask it, don't do anything else. Who wants to get it done in the month of July? Who's got a burning desire? Who wants to make it happen? Who's next? Okay? Doesn't matter where they are on your team. Does not matter. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who wants to go? Ask. 2. Remember I talked about 75-25? Treat these people like new team. Okay? These people get special attention. Spend your time with these people. Train. Communicate. Encourage. Create campaigns. What campaigns could you put around core? What rewards could you create around core for the month of July, right now? What incentives could you create? What little prizes, what little challenges could you do for people who go core? I will tell you, by asking and spending time with these people, let's say in the month of July, in the month of June, you had 10. By just doing this right now, right this moment, and spending time with these people, training, encouraging, putting together, private social media, Facebook groups, doing Zoom calls just with the people who raised their hand and said, me, 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 me. And you just work with that team. You could take that 10 and turn it into a 20 in July. And if you do it again, you could turn the 20 into a 40 in August. And I promise you, if your June number was 10, you're probably doing with like an 8, a 6, a 4, a 7, a 3. Look what happens. Here. Game changer. Game changer. The companies that I work with on this have experienced like 300% core rank growth because we hit it from every direction. We hit it in the messaging. We hit it in the, we bake it into the compensation plan. We do trip incentives around it. We do recognition walls and wall of fame and certificates and everything possible that you could think of. Special rewards, special training groups, everything you can think of to drive this rank. Again, you got to trick your mind. What if this is the only way you got paid? You didn't make any money if you don't grow this number. What would you do to grow this number? I'm telling you, when you get somebody to core, what have you done? You've bought time. Remember the chart with the 4 graphs? Can you throw that back up? Yeah, thanks. That's the one. We're trying to buy time to get to leadership, right? Campaigns and systems This core rank is up in here, but what it does is it buys you time. Once you get somebody to core, now you can work with them. Now you got somebody who's going to stay around. Now you got somebody you can work with to potentially, hopefully, develop into a leader. They're super tourists if they're not core. Core is somebody to work with, okay? So these key performance metrics are all great, and go back to the last one. All great, but core is everything. Trick your mind, pretend you only get paid for doing this. You want to develop the health of an organization, grow this, and I promise you, everything else takes care of itself. All of it takes care of itself. Yes, customers are great. Distributors are great. Retention's vital. But core manages all of that for you. Just does. Yeah, my technical people are awesome, Angela. They rule. Okay. Let's talk about duplication for a moment. New page, please. A lot of people ask me in training, how do I create more duplication? Because I just keep doing all the work. How do I get more duplication? I'm going to give you some tips on duplication. I will tell you, listen, on this core thing, I cannot emphasize enough. I just can't. If I'm coaching you personally, all I want to see is that number. Show me that number. Show me your plan. Show me your results in the past. Show me your plan for the future. And show me every single month. I mean, and think about what you can do with every leader on your team. Your top earners, let's say I was talking with Angel Fletcher yesterday. She just, I won't say how much she's making, but she just passed a humongous number on a monthly basis. So for somebody like Angel, think about the core rank advancement process in depth throughout your leadership. Everybody focused on that metric. It's just going to, she's doubled her business in the last 60 days. It's going to double it again just by doing this. It's the easiest way I know to go. So duplication. Duplication. What creates duplication? Number one, to go from dependence, a focus on going from dependence to independence. This needs to be a cultural priority. And what do I mean by this? There's a very important conversation that needs to be had with every person that comes into your team. And that conversation is this. My goal is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible. How long would you like it to take for you to become independent? Let me say that again. My goal is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible. How long do you want it to take for you to become independent from me? That's my goal. Okay? So think about what that does in setting a culture. Instead of saying, I'm here for you, I'm here to do everything for you, I'm here to change your diapers, and I'm here to solve all your problems, and I work for you. I think that creates a culture that's really, really unhealthy. You need to create a culture around the goal of independence. And how do we get there? Tell, show, try, do. How do we get there? Through assignments, calibrating those assignments up or down to get people to take action. Progress is perfection. Progress towards what? Independence. So this needs to be a cultural priority. You've got to decide this is a priority of our organization. And without this as a priority, there is no duplication. All there is slave labor in every direction. Okay? So a cultural priority from dependence to independence. That's number one. Number two, A rigid getting started process. A rigid getting started process. So the rigid getting started process means you create an onboarding process that is non-negotiable. It's simple, it works, it gets results, but it's not all over the place. If you want to have duplication, you have to have a cultural focus on going from dependence to independence, and you have to have a rigid getting started process. In other words, this is how we do it here. The military has a rigid getting started process. Great organizations have rigid getting started processes. And the leaders are not open for negotiation. This is how we do it. This is what our team does. This is important because look, if I write on the back of this piece of paper, the monkey rode on the elephant, and I whisper it into somebody's ear, and they whisper it into somebody else's ear, and we could play that game here if you wanted to, if we were in the same room together. By the time I get 20 people down, it's unrecognizable. It's all over the place. I would have that person tell me what they think they heard, and it's nowhere near what the actual thing was. And that's what happens inside of our business. Without a rigid getting started process, I mean a rigid, defended, protected, guarded getting started process, onboarding process, you will have chaos throughout your organization. People will be starting every possible different way. You need to tell the super sophisticated person who joins your business, whatever you do after our getting started process, up to you. But we highly recommend for the duplication and the health of our organization that everybody does this the same exact way. Whether you're going to do this part-time or full-time, whether you have experience or no experience, whether you know people or don't know people, it needs to be rigid. Now, the fastest growing organizations in network marketing have a rigid getting started process, and the most struggling organizations in network marketing have the most loose, do whatever you want, here's a suggestion, try this, why not try that, and it's all verbal. If you can't put your getting started process onto one piece of paper, and you can't hand that to somebody else and says, here's how you get started, then you don't have one. And if somebody can talk you out of it, you don't have one. You want to have duplication, you have to get rigid in this getting started process. If you don't care, then whatever, don't do it. Third thing you need, simple tools and systems. Simple tools and systems. Just show this, just do this, follow this little step. So you want to have more duplication, these three things will assist you. Take some work, but they will assist you in creating more duplication. It's not about, see, here's what happens is like, a leader has the Messiah complex. And here's the Messiah complex. Just give it all to me. I will take all of your sins. I will take all of your pain. I will take all of your effort. Bring your prospects to me, and I'll do it. Bring your new signups to me, and I'll train them. I'll do all the Zooms. I'll do all the calls. I'll do 3-ways all night and all day. Hang me on the cross. Not to be sacrilegious. But what you get for that is it feeds your ego that you're doing all this cool stuff. But the price you pay is you don't get duplication. There just gets to be more and more and more dependence on you. And actually it backfires because now you're not available. You weren't there for the three-way call. So now they're saying, you said that you were going to take all of my pain. You said that you were going to do this for me. You said you actually worked for me and you weren't there. Why? They're dependent. They're not independent. You've taught them to be dependent. You've let them, hey, do it whatever way you want. If you're in the military, and let's say you don't like getting up at 5 a.m., do you think your drill sergeant is going to be okay with you saying, you know what? I read a report that said 5 a.m. is actually not healthy for you. I think we would do much better. We perform better if we got up at 7. Try suggesting that. Try suggesting that to your drill sergeant and see what they say. Why? Why do they make the bed the way they make it? Because they have a rigid getting started process. Why do they make the time that they get up, how they eat, what they do? Because they have a rigid getting started process. It's very, very important to building culture. Heather asked, how do you break from being dependent if you already made this error? The way you do it is to go to the people and say, you know, look, I made a mistake by leading you to believe that this is all on me, and it's really your business. So now, starting today, starting this moment, my goal is to help you go from being dependent on me to being independent. We'll stay friends, but I'm going to help you become independent from me. We're going to work together to put a rigid getting started process, and we're going to have simple tools and systems in order to be able to support this. Why? Because I want more duplication for my organization, and I want you to have more duplication for yours. That's why. So just go to them and say, you know, look, what we did before isn't working as good. We can do this better. Make sense, Heather? Yeah, good. Okay. Oh boy, I got a lot to cover. My gosh. And here's what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm going to tell the technical guys too. We're going to go for these 3 hours, and then I want to do some questions and answers, which we did not plan on doing. So after the 3 hours, if you want to log off, you can log off. But I'm going to do some questions and answers and just open it up to the people that are here watching live and answer whatever questions that have come up over the course of these 6 hours. We'll probably go for maybe another hour doing that, okay? So just be aware that that's going to be there. All right, new page, please. I'm a big fan of podcasts. There's a Tim Ferriss podcast, and I can't remember the person's name. John, do you remember the lady's name on the Tim Ferriss podcast? The world-class lady? I don't know if you remember that or not. But if you do, and you can find her name, I can't remember it. But anyway, Tim Ferriss, the guy who wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, he does a podcast. And he had this lady on, and she is a top venture capitalist, superstar young lady. And she talked about her upbringing, and she talked about something that just hit me like a ton of bricks. I just loved what she talked about. She said when she was a young child, her father started to imprint an idea in her. And the idea, starting from like 3 years old, was an idea called world class. She'd color with her crayons, and she'd bring the colors to her father, and her father would say, that's nice, but is that the best you can do? And she was like, I could probably do better. All right, go back and see if you can do a world class crayon drawing. So he was always talking about, could you do better? Could you not defeating her, but challenging her? Could you think a little bit stronger? Could you do it a little bit with more attention to detail? Could you become world class? So she applied this discipline into her life. She found her way to Stanford University, one of the top universities in the world. And she got a part-time job working in one of the professors' offices, or the dean. Oh, you found it? Oh, cool. Anne Muraco. The Path from Shyness to World-Class Debater and Investor. This is episode number 331. You could listen to this if you'd like to find it and listen to her talk about world-class. So she finds herself at Stanford University, and she's working in this, like one of the dean of one of the colleges or something. She's working in this office. And she's literally she's just doing it to make a few extra dollars while she's going to school. And she's invisible. The dean doesn't even know her name. And she's just bringing, getting donuts, making coffee, making photocopies, and kind of feeling a little discouraged. And she calls her dad, and her dad says, "How's the job going?" She says, "Dad, I'm just making photocopies." He said, "Yeah, but are they world-class photocopies?" He said, "What?" "I'm just bringing donuts." "Yes, but are you bringing world-class donuts?" She said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm not talking about the donuts. I'm talking about how you bring them." And she was like, "Okay." So from that moment on, she made every photocopy perfect. The staple was in the perfect spot. There was never anything out of alignment. The donuts were arranged unbelievable. They weren't sloppy. There weren't crumbs around. They were stacked beautifully. The coffee was the best. She presented the best possible way, got all the extra stuff in order to be able to make the coffee exactly the way people liked it. Even though nobody asked her, she wasn't looking for recognition, she was doing it just to become world class, right? So nobody notices she's doing all this stuff. One day, the dean's assistant is out and she's in the office. And the dean comes out of his office and looks around for his assistant, says, "You," points at her. "You're that one that brings all those great donuts, right?" "Yep, I'm the one." "I hear you do good work, and I've been paying attention to what you're doing. We have a special guest who's going to be here, and I want somebody to give him a tour of the grounds. Would you give him a tour of the grounds? I know you'll do a good job." She says, "Okay, I'll do that." So she takes this gentleman and gives him a tour, and they strike it off. They hit it off. They have this conversation, and through the course of the tour, he's really impressed with her and her attention to detail and everything else. And he says, "Would you ever like to come to my work and shadow me for a couple weeks, maybe during your spring break or something?" She said, "Well, I'm sorry, sir. What is it that you do?" And I believe, I could be wrong, you'll find out if you listen to the podcast. He said, "I'm the CEO of Hewlett-Packard." I think it was Hewlett-Packard. So, but a huge company, Silicon Valley company. She said, "Well, sure." So she goes up and basically interns for this guy, gets total access to all this stuff, and proceeds to have this stellar career. Now, you might not put two and two together, but it started with, can you color with your crayons a little better? Can you staple those photocopies when nobody's watching? Can you make sure the donuts are amazing? Can you prepare a Zoom call for your team that is unbelievable? Are you just dialing it in? Are you putting time and attention into systems for your team when you only have a small team? Are you communicating in a way? Are you showing up world class? Are you deciding that you're going to be a shining example of what's possible in network marketing? Or are you just being casual and dialing it in for your team? I think you need to become world class when no one's watching. I think you need to become world class in your presentation, world class in your training, world class in your preparation, world class with your systems, world class with your campaigns, world class with your branding, world class with your image, world class with your attitude, world class with your habits, world class with your disciplines, world class with protecting and guarding your time and attention. world class or nothing. You could be an amateur, or you could decide, you know what? I'm going to be world class when no one's paying attention. I'm going to be world class when my company CEO doesn't know my name. I'm going to be world class when I'm not in the Hall of Fame. Because guess what? If I go world class now, I'll be in the Hall of Fame. My CEO will know my name. I'll get invited to be on that stage. I'll be on that wall. It starts with crayons. It starts with a phone call that's well prepared. It starts with attention to the tiniest detail. It starts with little tiny things that nobody else pays attention to. Decide if you're going to become world class or not. If you do, this stuff gets easy. If you don't, you better hope you stay lucky for the rest of your life, because luck, I promise you, at some point, is not enough. So, world class. Listen to that podcast. You'll get some value from it. All right. I want to talk about systems. Oh. Here's what we have to talk about in the next hour, just so you know. I'm going to take a break in just a second, but we got to talk about a process for developing systems, building your personal brand, building your culture, social media for leaders, becoming a world-class promoter, how to solve more problems, how to build long-distance groups, how to manage the boring, the vision workshop, retention strategies, and leadership identification development, and a 12-month game plan. Holy crap. Let's take a break, and then we'll go into this last hour. Go.
I came to Beyond Leadership because I rose to being the 5th person to hit the rank that I'm in right now in the company that I'm in, and I knew I needed more.
Coming here and learning from Eric Worre and being around leaders, I realize now that we cannot dream big enough.
This is my 7th event this year. I've attended 6 other events, and I can definitely say this has been by far nothing like anything else I've experienced this year.
I wish I came Beyond Leadership when I was about a year in the industry. I would have laid my foundation and relaid my foundation a bit better.
Hands down, the best training I have been to in my entire career. I mean, just the first day, we could have been like, money, worth the money, totally worth the money.
This is literally the piece I've needed that's been missing in my business, and it's all been given to me here. Like, my mind is like, it's like crazy. I can't get over it.
My wish for every single one of you is, no matter where you're at in the life cycle, is reinvention this week.
The energy is like nothing you've ever felt before. And I wish I could bottle it up in a little bottle and spray it on everyone when I walk by, because it's just unbelievable.
If you want to get to the next level, you need to come to the next level events, like Beyond Leadership or the Mastermind.
I decided to come to Beyond Leadership because I wanted to take my skills, or whatever skills my team believes I have, and I need them to be the best. And I wanted to get around the best. And to me, Eric Worre over the last 20 years has been the best.
He's just the godfather of network marketing.
In the last 12 months, my business went ×3 when it comes to the income, but I would say even like in the knowledge, even more than that.
I knew, I mean, honestly, them talking about the systems, that was what made me decide I needed to be here, but that's what made me decide my team needed to be here. We had 10 people total here.
I can see further. I can see where I can reach my goals more specific. How can I teach my team? How can I do something bigger, think bigger?
It was just amazing.
All right, we're back, and we are going to go hardcore, aggressive into this last hour. And a couple things I want to talk to you about. One is to talk to you about campaigns. We finished day one talking about campaigns, and before we even get to our question and answer kind of bonus time, let me talk to you about campaigns for a minute. You can get, if you're not careful, you have to use your creativity, you can get campaign fatigue if you do too many exotic campaigns. The best campaigns are built on either a fundamental skill or built on a fundamental system. So if you're always adding customers and you come up with a campaign to add customers, that's not going to exhaust people. It's not going to freak them out. Or if you come up with an occupation campaign, or you come up with a home party campaign or recruiting campaign or whatever it happens to be, just know you're going to be going from campaign to campaign to campaign. One of the people in the Next Level Mastermind that I talked to yesterday was saying, I'm just finishing this other campaign and I'm just getting ready to start the next campaign, and I'm a little worried that people are going to be tired because people are part-time and people are doing this stuff. Here's the thing. Write this into your notes. Leaders usually stop doing things that work because a couple people complain. Let me say that again. Leaders usually stop doing things that work because a couple people complain. A couple people go, oh, we just finished this other campaign, I'm tired. You're just starting another one? Oh, you're just starting another one. Oh, I'm tired. We just finished this event and you're doing another event. There's too many events. And it puts a seed inside of you. You're like, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I am doing too much. So you stop doing the thing that worked because one person just went, wah, it's too early, wah, it's too hard, wah, my husband's giving me a problem, they're giving me, making me feel guilty, wah. So here's the deal. Put this into your notes. If a lot of people are not complaining about what you're promoting, you're not promoting enough. If everybody's happy, you're playing it safe, and you're not going where you need to go. You need to set a standard that is so high, so aggressive, so powerful, so amazing, that some people are going to filter out because they're not ready for it. But your team needs to see you going hard, campaign to campaign, month to month, week to week, event to event, with no apology. You don't need to go as hard as I go. Hey, go on vacation if you want to, but I'm building right now. Quiet, builders at work, right? So just understand, be careful. This little mind virus, they're going to try and drip this little mind virus into your head and go, you're being unreasonable. You're being obsessed. Something wrong with you. You can't slow down. You need to shut them up. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. Don't slow down to make somebody else feel better. Don't dim your light in order to be able to make somebody else feel better about themselves. Go. Go. And if they need to filter themselves out, you're going to attract more people than you're going to lose. What if your corporate isn't ready for your high aggressive standard? That's fine. Fine. They don't have to be. This is your standard. It's your business. It's what you're doing. Raise the standard. It's okay. Corporations usually don't complain about productivity. You know what I mean? So long as you're doing it with a good heart. You don't need to make them feel bad, but don't feel bad yourself either. Okay, so let's get to systems. We talked about systems yesterday. Skill-proof and fear-proof. Everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. The person looking at it says, hey, this looks simple. simple. I think it'll work. I think I could do it. We talked about all these different customer acquisition, customer onboarding, core rank, skills, personal development, recruiting, communication, whatever it happens to be. So I want to give you a simple process for how to develop a system inside of your organization. How to develop a system. Okay? Fresh page, please. Okay. Number one, identify which system you want to develop. Okay? Identify which system you want to develop. Customer acquisition, customer onboarding, customer retention, recruiting, getting started process for a person, that rigid getting started process we talked about, distributor retention. What is it? Okay? Is it a communication system? Is it a core rank system? Core rank is a good one. So identify which system you want to do, number one. Number two, what's working? What's working right now? What's working in the field? Take the pulse throughout your organization and take a look at what's really working, not just what sounds good, but what's really working. What's working, what's getting results around whatever system you're trying to do. And three, negotiate and brainstorm with your leaders. Let's take a look at what's working. Let's list all the things. And then let's figure out with the leaders, which one of these things that's working can we decide to create into a skill-proof and fear-proof system for our organization. Which of these things can duplicate? Which of these things can we create tools around? Which of these things can work around the world? You know, that they fit our culture, they work globally, and negotiate. Maybe, usually there's 3, 4, 5 things that are working, and you need to evaluate, can this duplicate, or is this one being driven by a personality? Is there a system we can put around this? We can figure out how we're going to do it. And you need to negotiate, because here's what happens. Let's say you've got 10 leaders inside your group, and there's 10 slightly different strategies. If you come up with a strategy that says, this is what we're doing, this is our system, you're going to have a bunch of those 10 fight you. And say, no, I got what's working for me. You do what's working for you. I got what's working for me. I'm fine. You do what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm a boss of me. Okay? But if you get together with those 10 and say, let's lay out all the things, because negotiate is the key word here. Negotiate, because if you negotiate, negotiation means telling them, if we come up with one system that we can all live with, we all make more money. Because duplication is freedom. Right? And a system is a business. And if we have a system that's so strong, people will join our team for the system alone, it's worth coming up with one system if we can negotiate it. So usually it requires everybody giving up about 10 or 20% of something that they love in order to have a dumbed down version that everybody can live with. So you pull out all these different things of what's working, and you've tried to put it together as a team, and it might take you a day, it might take you 2 days as a team to figure out what is Negotiate. What is the thing that you want to try to develop? Okay? You can kind of imagine this. You might need to go on a retreat, go to a resort as the leaders and work on this. Understand? So negotiate with your leaders. Then create a test system. And why do I say test? This is really important. You're going to get together with your top leaders, and here's what I've seen happen over and over and over again, and it's a disaster. You get so excited with your 10 leaders that you just decide to roll it out. Just roll it out, and this is now the system for our team. And if you have a pretty established team, existing team, and you roll this out and you test this system you don't test it, you just roll the system out before you test it, what usually happens is some part of it doesn't work the way you thought it would work, and you end up having to change it. And there's nothing worse than having to change a core system. It's just, what I'm saying is you don't want to experiment with your entire team. Don't experiment on some new system with your entire team because you heard about somebody else doing it. It might not work with your product. It might not work with your culture. Don't jump the gun and run out there because, oh, we got this thing. We just had this all-day meeting. Let's have a Zoom call tonight and we'll announce it to the whole team. You don't have the tools ready. You don't have the communication ready. You haven't figured out if it works in real life. Just don't do it. Elaine says, if a corporate has a system that is good for duplication, do you need to recreate it? Does everybody know it? Does everybody do it? And does it work? Is it skill-proof and is it fear-proof? When people look at it, do they say, this looks simple, I think it'll work and I think I could do it? It's not just it works if people do it. People have to do it. What I've seen, corporate sometimes has it, most of the time they don't. Most of the time this is driven by the field, okay? Field creates these things and corporate adopts them usually. So I want you to create a test system, and then I want you to do an actual beta test. I want you to take a group of people and have them utilize the system that you just created. Pick however many you want. 50 people, 100 people, something that's significant but doesn't distract the entire team. I like between 100 and 300 people. Usually that gives you statistically valid results. And measure those 300 against 300 people that are not using the system. So let's say you have a distributor onboarding process, a getting started process. What I would do, if you have a large enough organization, take 600 people that join your organization in some reasonable period of time, some kind of finite time. Take 300 of them and put them into this beta test group and have them do this system. And take the other 300 and have them just do their own thing, whatever they're normally doing. And compare the results of the beta test versus the people who are in the control group to be able to see. Because what you want is the story to be able to go back to the team. The people who did this system were 400% more productive than people who didn't, or whatever the number is. Okay? And in the beta test, then you're going to refine and improve. Which you might have to do a few times. And then step number 7, bake it into your culture. Just having the system put together is not enough. You've got to pound it into your culture. You got to promote it like crazy. You have to recognize people who are doing it. You've got to reward people. You have to have campaigns that drive this thing. You got to just go crazy, right? Identify which system you want to work on. Figure out what's working. Make a list. Negotiate with your leaders. Create a test system. Beta test it. Actually measure that. Refine and improve it. and then bake it into your culture. This whole process, top to bottom, is minimum 12 months. What are you doing pardon me. What are you doing in the meantime? Campaigns. You're doing campaigns while you're doing all the rest of this stuff. Does this make sense? This is a little advanced, but this is the way I would process all of the 15 or so systems that I laid out for you. And if you have strong leaders, you can maybe have one leader lead your customer acquisition system development, a different leader lead your core rank development. You can have a different leader do your event promotion development. You can have these kind of simultaneously happening. This seems like a daunting process, but here's what I will tell you. If you do this 3 years from today, people will join your team just for the systems that you put together because they're so solid. They're so amazing, okay? I do this with companies. I do it sometimes with top leaders. It's a very intensive process, but worth it. Every business is a system. Think about Uber. What is Uber? It's just a system. Think about what is Tesla? Just a system. They got systems for everything. Every business is a system. And if your business is just willy-nilly, fly by the seat of your pants, well, then you're going to get that type of result. This is higher level stuff, but worth it. Okay, so got to keep moving. Let's talk about building your brand and building your culture. As a leader, your brand matters. How you show up matters. And you got to decide what you want your brand to be. And what I would like you to think about in your notes, whether you do this now or you do this later, I would like you to think about what do you want to be known for as a person? When people think of you, what do you want them to say? Because I've got very, very purposeful on this. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, deciding what I wanted my brand to be. How I wanted to show up in people's minds, how I wanted to show up in people's hearts, how I wanted to show up to the world. What I wear is on purpose. When I'm working, what I'm wearing is thought about. Okay? How I show up energetically is thought about. The notes that I put together and what I'm trying to deliver to you is thought about. It's all on purpose. Every piece of it. And same thing's true for you. You need to think about, how do you want to be known? Do you want to be known as a nice person? Do you want to be known as an incredible leader? Do you want to be known for your intensity, your energy, your knowledge, your wisdom, your heart? How do you want to, let me ask it a different way. Which brand is going to create more activity in the people who happen to follow you? Which brand is going to create more action? Which one is going to assist you in your pursuit of helping other people unlock their potential? Think about your brand and what you want to be known for, and decide to show up in that way. And I will tell you, mine is a relaxed intensity. I'm not hyper. I'm not Tony Robbins jumping up and down. I admire Tony tremendously as far as his energy is unbelievable. I struggle to have that type of energy. I'm a little bit more introspective, but I want to be a friend to everybody in network marketing. I want to be an ambassador inside of this profession. I want to be a guide. I want to be a teacher, a mentor, a coach. That's what I want people to think when they think about me. Somebody who believes in people and believes in this profession. How do you want people to think about you? And then how are you reinforcing that thought in how you show up energetically, how you show up in how you dress, how you show up with the expression on your face. Are you brightening the room, or are you dimming the room when you walk in? How are you showing up with your attitude? Because your brand, if you're complaining all the time, your brand is a problem. You know, if you're complaining all the time. Some people just like to be the devil's advocate. They're always looking for, well, let's look at the negative side of this just in case. Well, do you want that to be part of your brand? Think about it. Probably not a good brand to have. Even though you think you're cool, putting up the devil's advocate stuff all the time. So think about how you want to be known. Same thing is true for your culture within your organization. When people think about your culture, how do they want how do you want people to think about your culture? In your team, not just your company, in your team. Yeah, Warrior's good. I like Warrior. Linda asks, is Warrior good? So think about it. Think about it. What do you want to be known for? Is your team always late for everything? Or is your team on time? Is your team positive? Or is your team a bunch of complainers? When I worked in corporate, you would know the team by the leader, because that one's always complaining. And this one's always encouraging and great attitude. This one's solving problems, this one's bringing me problems. What do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for sharp, energetic? Do you want to be known for kind of sloppy? I mean, you could be known for casual if you want to. Some people build cultures just on super, super casual, never ever wear a suit coat ever. Fine, so long as it's on purpose. How do you want to be known? When people think of you, does your team, are they known for showing up at every event? Or are they known for staying home? Are they known for sitting up front, or are they known for sitting in the back? Are they known for cursing up a storm everywhere they go? Or are they known for doing the opposite? Are they known for all drinking and partying and being out of control? Are they known for fun but professional? Make a list of the attributes you want your team to be known for and set in motion the campaigns and the systems and the standards that you're going to hold starting now in order to be able to reinforce that culture. A culture happens whether or not you consciously create it. If you don't consciously create it, it's being created. And you know what? A lot of times it's being created by troublemakers. And you don't want your culture being created by troublemakers. Trust me on that. So building your brand and building your culture is important. Pay attention to it. Even on social, I would just tell you, if you build a brand on social, it's worth a little piece of your time to do that, because you'll just have a recruiting machine forever if you build your brand on social as somebody who helps people make money, as somebody who is encouraging, as somebody who is helpful, as somebody who is bright and shiny, somebody worth following, somebody with good ideas. It's worth doing. Speaking of troublemakers, let me switch gears. Give me a fresh sheet, please. This is a big leadership lesson, and I'm banging through a lot of stuff because we got a lot long time to cover, or a lot of stuff to cover, not much time. Problem solving. One of the number one skills you can develop as a leader in the world is a problem solver. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So you got to learn how to solve better and better problems. You got to learn how to solve problems for your company. Learn how to solve problems for the team. Learn how to solve problems. If you don't have a system, solve that problem, and man, can you get rewarded. Learn how to solve problems. Now, problems show up in lots of different forms. The best defense. Jeez, I struggle. I was a C student. The best defense to a problem or a distraction or a problem child on your team or bad behavior within the organization or some real challenge to your culture. The best defense for that is a fast offense. Write this down. Kill the monster. When it's a baby. Don't let the monster grow. Don't let the monster spread wings. Don't let the monster start breathing fire. Kill the monster. Monster being behavior, not a person. Kill the behavior when it's a baby. Kill that monster behavior when it's a baby. Don't kill the person when it's a baby. Kill the behavior when it's a baby. You have to. If you let that monster, now some of you are already going, oh man, I have some monsters that have grown wings and are breathing fire and they're inside my organization right now. And boy, oh boy, I wish I would have known this a long time ago. Kill the monster when it's a baby, if you can. If you have some big monsters, you're gonna have to do some dramatic things in order to be able to fix this behavior, because if people only repeat behavior that gets rewarded, and if you rewarded the wrong behavior over time, you've got some dragon slaying to do. Sorry, you just do. So, the best defense to bad behavior. Now, I want to talk about problem children, and I want to talk about bad behavior within the organization. I will give you one example. I was building my business. Can I sit here? Is that going to work for this? It'll work? I mean, it's okay. Doesn't need to be perfect. I built a business in Minneapolis, and my mentor his name was Michael Nelson. He was cross-line for me. He was one of my teachers. He was just amazing. And he set a standard. He had a culture. He had systems for everything. He had processes for everything. He taught me so much. And there was a guy who joined not my downline, but joined in the market, and he was a big shot financial planning guy. He had this big office. He was very influential. His name was Guy White. The guy's passed away, but Guy came in with all the ego in the world. He was and he was a big story. And he recruited like 50 people, like really fast. And everybody was talking about Guy White, this big corporate guy. He joined the business, blah, blah, blah. He brought in all this stuff. He rank advanced. He did all this stuff. His first check was all this incredible stuff. Now, during our opportunity presentations, we used to do them in hotels, which is what Zoom calls are now. We would do 3 opportunity presentations a week in the hotels, Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday morning. And we would do like a 40-minute presentation. And then at the end of the presentation, we would have a bunch of testimonials. And the testimonials would be typically under 60 seconds. Hi, my name is, I'm a homemaker. Here's my story about being involved in this business. Thank you very much. And then the person's, hi, my name is, I'm a blue collar worker. Hi, my name is, I'm a small business owner. Hi, my name is, I'm a student. Hi, my name is. And the purpose of these testimonials was not for recognition, was to relate to as many people in the audience as possible. So people can say, oh, that's just like me. And they were a tool in order to be able to help people see the opportunity. So Guy does this big growth result. He's a big story. He knows it. He's got a big percentage of, 30% of the room is his. He's doing the presentation on Tuesday. We're doing the presentation on Tuesday night, and he gets asked to come up and do one of the testimonials. And he's told, this is 60 seconds, here's the purpose, here's what we're doing. Thanks, Guy. Go knock him dead. Well, Guy goes up and talks for 10 minutes. And I look over at Michael Nelson, and he is fuming. He is just like, he's rolling his eyes. And Guy goes on and on. He does a whole other presentation, basically talking to the people he's got in the room, and talks for 10 minutes. Gets off, very proud, and I can't wait to see what Michael does with this, because Michael does not tolerate something going outside of the system. He just doesn't. So Michael pulls Guy aside, and I go lean in and listen. He says, Guy, remember we talked about the purpose of the testimonial? He said, yeah. Remember I told you it's 60 seconds? He said, yeah, how long did I go? You went 10 minutes, Guy. He said, yeah, but I got a lot of people here, and my story is a good story, and it's helpful to you, and I'm helping to validate the whole area and the whole business and the whole profession. You should be happy. And Michael says, look, there's time for you to be able to do that in a training or whatever, but the purpose for this is 60 seconds to validate. So please, next time, keep it to 60 seconds. Guy says, you could tell he wasn't happy, but he says, okay. Well, next event comes. Guy's got a nice group there. He goes up to do a testimonial, and Michael, right before he goes, he said, remember, 60 seconds. Guy says, okay. Guy goes for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. He's in Michael's group. Michael pulls him aside and said, Guy, I told you the purpose. He said, yeah, but I just don't agree with it. I mean, I'm pretty good up in front of people, and they needed to hear that. And look at all the people signing up. I mean, I think I'm, pretty good. He said, and Michael, understand, kill the monster when it's a baby. He challenged the bad behavior the first moment it happened. Now, if this person was in your downline, you probably wouldn't have challenged it because he's creating so much productivity. You just let it happen. So he went to him and said, look, the first time, can't do that. Second time, he said, Guy, if it happens again, I'm going to ask you to not be part of these events anymore. I'm happy that you're producing. I think it's great. I'm happy for your success. But if it happens again, you won't have an opportunity to do it again. So, third time comes around, and Michael says to Guy, please, for your sake and ours, don't. So Guy goes up and goes for 7 minutes, his shortest ever. And afterwards, he's so proud. How'd I do? How'd I do? Michael said, we said 60 seconds. How long did I go? You went 7 minutes, Guy. This isn't about recognition, and it's not about training, and it's not about talking to your people. This is about validating for the organization. So I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to do these anymore. If you'd like to go start your own presentation, we wish you the best of luck. This is in his own downline. So Guy got furious, said, fine, I'm out of here, and went and started his own presentation. And Guy continued to build for about 9 months, and then it got hard for Guy because his influence, turned into work, and Guy disappeared. But Guy didn't impact the existing team because that big flame out, that big ego fest, didn't allow to get rooted into the team. So what am I saying to you? The first time bad behavior shows up in your organization, you must challenge it. If you don't, you're responsible for the seed taking root. The first time somebody gets drunk at your company convention in front of everybody, if you don't say, look, this is bad for you, it's bad for the organization, I'm not judging the fact if you need to drink, go do it in your room, but just don't do it in front of the team. We can't allow that. The first time somebody goes and sleeps with somebody else's downline, you know what I mean? The first time somebody bullies somebody else, the first time somebody demeans somebody else, the first time, you have to challenge the behavior the first time, not the person. It's very important that you separate the behavior from the person. Say, I love you, but this behavior is counterproductive to our goals. It's counterproductive to our culture. It's counterproductive to what it is that we're trying to accomplish. So I need your support to change this, because people have addictions and people have behavioral challenges and people have insecurities, and sometimes they come out in bullying behavior, and people are mean sometimes, and people are negative. The first time somebody is like publicly complaining in front of your team or in your Zoom or in front of your prospects, the first time, you need to say, that's not the place for that. We need to do that on a sidebar. You don't do that in front of our prospects, ever. So you challenge bad behavior when it's a baby, and then you escalate. Sometimes people can't hear that reproach from you. Even if you might have bad behavior in your upline. You need to challenge that bad behavior if it's impacting your team. The first time, with respect, with communication, right? The first time, you challenge the bad behavior, and if they don't change, then you need to escalate. You might need to go to, like Michael did. Hey, look, I'm trying to educate you. No, this is second warning. Third time, yeah, I'm sorry, no more. Now, would you take probably your top producing person and do that? That takes some leadership, right? So if a person is exhibiting behavior, you need to escalate personally and privately and respectfully. Then you might need to get a bigger hammer. You might need to get somebody involved in an upline or a company, somebody that they'll listen to. If they can't hear it from you, you might need to go to somebody else that they'll listen to. Then you might need to go to the company if it's impacting the business or impacting the culture, impacting the organization or the brand or the reputation or whatever. Go to the company. And the tool of last resort is excommunication. Block them out of your groups. Block them out of your life. I try not to get there. Do everything you can to not to get there. Do everything you can with love and compassion in your heart, not with your own ego. But don't hesitate. How many movies do you need to see where the hero, if they hang out with that person any longer, they're going to be in prison, they're going to be dead, they're going to be in trouble, but they refuse to disassociate with that person, and because they refuse to disassociate, they end up getting the results. They end up getting painted with that person's brush. When you dance with the devil doesn't change. The devil changes you. If you hang out with people that are exhibiting bad behavior, usually you don't influence them, they influence you. I know I've been influenced by people with bad behavior. I've done stuff that I'm incredibly embarrassed of. I've made all the mistakes that there's possible to be made inside of network marketing, I think. I've just, put myself in bad spots because I hung around bad people and I did not challenge bad behavior. So this is the best way I know to solve problems, is the best defense is a fast offense. Right? Now I'm talking about people problems now. And challenge bad behavior, create good boundaries, protect your systems and your culture, your standards, and escalate. Escalate until it either changes, or if it doesn't change, then you have to disassociate. Okay? This is a hard one, but I promise you. Now, if you already have flame-throwing dragons within your organization, it's going to take some time, because you've let it take root. It's going to take some time to dial back and to build new boundaries and to create standards and to have more conversations. They now have influence. Maybe they've got influence within your organization. You're going to have to think about how you protect against the influence within your organization. Okay? All right. I could go for a long time on that, but I don't have the time to go. I will tell you, if you're in the Next Level Mastermind, we talk about this stuff every week, every single week, for an hour every single week. If you want to come to Beyond Leadership, we're going deep dive for 4 straight days. This would be like, what we've covered it over the course of this event is about 2/3 of one day. And we do 4 days of that, personally, privately, here in the home. I would encourage you to be a part of that. And we can go farther and deeper. All right, so that's problem solving. Well, I'm going to go over. I have to. Even before we get to the Q&A, I'm going to go over. Okay. I want to talk about retention strategies for distributors. Two basic concepts. Fresh page, please. We're trying to buy time, right? We're trying to buy time. That's the key. We're trying to buy time. Because when we buy time, we have a chance for a person to become skilled. We have a chance to develop a leader when we buy time, okay? So how do you buy time? One of my early mentors taught me that the key to network marketing success is a concept called 90 more days. Your goal is to convince people to hang out 90 more days, to get people to stay focused for 90 more days, to get people to engage in a campaign for 90 more days, to get people to improve their attitude for 90 more days, to use the products for 90 more days. 90 more days. So when my mentor told me, like, 90 more days, I'm like, well, what happens after 90 days? He looked at me like I was stupid. He said, Eric, 90 more days. So I'm like, oh, so I just need to convince them to hang out till Thanksgiving. And then I need to convince them to hang out until Valentine's Day. And then I need to convince them to hang out till Easter, until the next event, or for the next thing. Because think about this, if you convince people to hang out long enough, eventually the penny drops, boom, they get it, they see the vision, and they say, you know what, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go make this happen, okay? But our goal is to keep them around long enough until the penny does drop, 90 days at a time, okay? Keep them around for 90 more days. There's a concept called over the line the top leaders use. Everybody has a line. On this side of the line, it's easier to stay and build their business. And on this side, it's easier to quit. So tell me some of the things, and put it into the comments, please, that would make it easier for a person to stay and build a business. What would make it easier for them to stay? I'll start while we wait for the lag and the comments. One thing that would make it easier to stay, if they got a good product result. If there's some sort of product emotional connection, that would make it easier for somebody to stay, right? For sure. What if they made a friend? They found a friend inside of this business. They got their first check. They made a commission. That would make it easier to stay, right? Your scrolling is making it hard for me to see. How are you doing that? They make a sale. They get a customer. That would make it easier to stay. They get connected to the community. What if they attended an event or a Zoom call, some sort of an event, online or offline? What if they felt valued? That's a good one. Here's a great one that makes it easier for a person to stay. What if they tell the world? What if they tell the world that they joined this business and they're going to go to the top? What if they feel appreciated? Rank advancement. Rank advancement's going to buy you another 90 days, right? They hit core rank. Good results, feeling of success. Keep going, give me some more. Scroll up so I can see that in the meantime. Relationships, friends, sales, community, culture, commissions, promoted to core. Go to the bottom, see if there's any new ones. Okay, so all of these things would make it easier for a person to stay, right? Education, they learn some things. Skills. They develop some simple skills, right? Getting a win. They invest some time, right? They build some camaraderie. So all of these things make it easier to stay. Now, what things make it easier to quit? It's the opposite of these things. They didn't even use the product. Easy to quit. They don't build any relationships. Easy to quit. They don't make any money. Easy to quit. They don't get any customers. Easy to quit. I don't even know what I said there. Connected. They don't get connected. They don't know what's going on. They're not part of any Facebook groups or whatever. Easy to quit. They don't attend any events. Easy to quit. They don't feel valued. Easy to quit. They don't tell the world. They keep it quiet. It's easy to quit. They don't feel appreciated. Easy to quit. They don't feel communicated to. Easy to quit. They don't rank advance. Easy to quit. They don't learn anything. They don't develop any skills. Easy to quit. So our job, focusing on this 90 more days, our job is to push people over this line and keep them over this line. Okay? And this doesn't stop after 90 days. You top leaders understand this right now. You're still pushing people over this line. Because if a person hits core rank, but then they don't rank advance after that, and a year's gone by, it starts moving over here. What do you do with all of these things? What do you do with all of these things to get people to engage in these things? Assignments. Assignments. Assignment to take the product, connecting them with friends. Some campaign to help them get customers. An assignment to get connected. Assignment to attend an event. Right? An assignment to tell the world. An assignment. And you're going to upgrade the assignment if they do them quickly, and you're going to downgrade the assignment if they're too afraid to do them. You're going to make them easier or harder depending on how engaged they're ready to be. But even a tiny little thing, let's say you're worried about a person staying around because they're super insecure. Okay, you're worried about it. What if you just connected them with 10 friends inside the group? And you tell them, look, I want you to friend this person up. And you told the team members on your team, will you go friend up my friend Amy? Amy over here is a little nervous about building a business, not quite sure. Would you do me a favor and friend her up and give her a word of encouragement? That does a couple things. It connects with the people on the team that are already there, gives them a sense of purpose also, but it also encourages Amy like crazy. If Amy now has 10 friends and 10 message inbox, hey, welcome to the team, excited to have you, congratulations on your decision. If you got some questions, let me know. You see what I'm saying? Plug them in. Tell them how to go tell the world that they're doing this. Let them know that they're appreciated. Encouraging and recognizing tiny little achievements. Move them over this line. Keep them over this line. What are we trying to do? 90 more days, 90 more days, 90 more days, 90 more days. I can get 90 days with a product, emotional product reaction. I can get 90 days with some friends. I can get 90 days if they tell the world, because now they'll be embarrassed to leave. I can get 90 days by giving them one simple rank advancement. I can get 90 days by having them attend an event. And then the next 90 days, and then the next 90 days, and then the next 90 days. You understand what I'm saying? This is the best way I know for retention. Originally get a starting process, fast results, but really the 90 more days concept and the over the line concept is what really increases productivity. Let me give you quickly retention strategies for customers. Give me a fresh page, please. Here's what I've seen as far as strong leader success, customer retention. Oh, sorry. Here's what I want you to understand. 5% increase in retention of your customers equals a 25% increase in your check. Over time. 5% increase in retention equals a 25% increase in your commission check over time. Really important that you focus on retention. Now, how do you do that? An emotional attachment to the product or service. How do you get that emotional attachment? By causing them to use it, by giving them assignments, by telling them to pay attention. If it's something that they're consuming, I want you to use this product. You need to give an assignment again. Assignment. Use this product, and I want you to pay attention to what this does to this part of your body. Use this product on your skin, and I want you to pay attention to what it does to your skin. Use this service, and I want you to pay attention to how much you saved or how much value you got. Use this product, and your goal is with every single customer and every single distributor who is also a customer is to create an emotional, not just a financial, but an emotional attachment to your product. Because if they're emotionally attached, they're not going to leave. You can get a 5% increase in your retention, which will create a 25% increase in your paycheck. An emotional attachment. You do that through assignments. You do that, number one, the emotional attachment through assignments. Culture, like for example, public use whenever possible. So I'll give you an example. Great companies teach their people to use their products if it's a demonstrable product at all, if it's nutrition product, skincare product, whatever, weight loss product, anything that's usable publicly, to take the product publicly. Don't take it in your bathroom, don't take it in your kitchen, take it when you go out of the house, take it when you go to lunch, take it when you're in front of people, and teach everybody to do that. Public use whenever possible through your culture. Or if it's service-based, public discussion of you using it whenever possible. Tell stories about it whenever possible. Brag about it whenever possible. You know there's great product cultures when people are publicly either talking about it or using it all the time. All the time. Like my Melaleuca friends. It's so funny. And I've got lots of family members in Melaleuca. If you talk to somebody in Melaleuca, no matter what you say, they've got a product for that. You know, I just had this hangnail. You need to put some Melaleuca oil on that. My ear hurts. Oh, you got to put the little Melaleuca drops in there. Oh, I got allergies. Oh, we got this great, which I actually take their allergy medicine. You got to try that allergy because it's unbelievable. You know, I scraped my knee. Oh, we got something for that. My stomach hurts. We got something for that. I mean, they're just on it, man. They're on it. So are you on it when it comes to your culture and public use of your products whenever possible? And next is constant edification, training, and education. And I apologize for my handwriting. I can't even read it, but it's the best I got. Constant edification. Our products are the best. They're amazing. They're unbelievable. They're groundbreaking. They're game changing. Training. Here's how to use them. Here's why they're unbelievable. And education. Here's all the science, and here's everything else, and here's all this stuff. It makes people proud. So you got to have assignments, creating this emotional attachment, culture, and then constant edification, training, and education. Okay? So that's retention strategies for customers. I got so many things. I wish I had 4 days with you. Let me give you a quick strategy for team relationships. Very quick. For strong team relationships. Most of you talk to people on your team. You're only talking to between 5 and 20 people, and you talk to those people over and over and over again. Okay? And those people will change, but some people in your team you're taking for granted. You know, because, they're good, they're fine. They don't need recognition, they told me. They don't need recognition, they don't need to support, they're building fine. I'm just working with this other team right now. One thing I would encourage you to do, make a list of the most important 100 people on your team. The most important 100 people on your team, make a list. Who are the most important, the most valuable, the most with the most potential, the most promise? They're following assignments. They're key in a certain city, wherever they are in the group. Okay, make a list of 100. Now you want to update this list probably every 6 months. You'll be surprised how much it changes. It's stunning how much it changes. So make a list of 100, and then call at least 5 of them every day. Create the list, start with number 1, go through 1 through 5. Day 2, go 6 through 10. Day 3, 11 through 15. Day 4, 16 through 20. So every 20 days, you will have talked to all of them. Is that right? 20 times 5, yeah. Every 20 days, you'll have talked to all of them. Now, it's just a checkup. How's it going? How's the family? How are things? I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you. I think you're awesome. I think you're amazing. Now, this is not just a text message. This is not just a social media message. This is just a quick call. And for so many of them, they're going to be like, hey, with no agenda, you're just calling to see how I'm doing? Oh my gosh. They won't leave you. If you have a big leadership gap and you experience a downturn and some company tries to take your top people, they won't be able to get them, because you know why? You're in great relationship. They don't feel taken for granted. I'm just telling you. Call them and tell them that you're proud of them every 20 days. Call them and tell them you appreciate them. Call them and tell them that, or tell them a story. Tell them something cool that's happening within your organization. Tell them something that you're excited about. Tell them something that you're working on. It means the world. But most of you do it with a small group, or you think it's enough because you talk to everybody on the Zoom call or you sent everybody an email. It's not enough. It's different. It's different. 5 a day. Just 5. 3 minutes. It's going to literally take you 15 to 30 minutes out of your day, but it's the best culture building, relationship building thing you could do. And it also is the best insurance policy you have against trauma in the future. You build relationship and people will produce. You build relationship, people will stay. You build relationship, people won't be tempted and attracted by somebody telling some lie about you in the future. So just make the list of 100 and start calling 5 a day, okay? Do that. How do you end the call without it going too long and not being rude? Just start the call, Brooke, by saying, hey, look, I only have a few minutes, but you came to mind and I thought about you. I'm getting ready to jump on another call. I've got another thing to do. But do you have a couple minutes? Boom. Now you have a permission to be able to jump off. Okay? Go in, bring them some value, love on them, and watch what happens. Yeah, I have all women. We don't know how to talk for 3 minutes. Talk for 5, but you can. And any specific voicemail, if they don't answer, same thing. I would just say, look, hey, I was just thinking about you. Give me a call back if you feel like it. But I just wanted to let you know I'm super proud of you, and I think you're spectacular, and you're amazing, and you're unbelievable. Have a great day. Or tell them a story, or, tell them something you appreciate, whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you called. What matters is that, and again, the protocol nowadays is to text somebody, hey, you have a quick minute? And then call them, and then you won't get very many voicemails. Only with the top ones, Eleni says, the top 100. The top 100. And every 6 months or so, that top 100 will change. Anything more than that's difficult to manage, because you're going to be working much more closely with your top 10, top 12, top 20. But this is really, really big. Okay, maybe you give them an assignment, maybe you tell them a story, maybe you give them some encouragement, but rotate it around, play with it. Okay, so enjoy it. That you're going to get tremendous value from that. Can you bring up the first chart that we talked about on the 5 attributes of a leader? I don't know where you put it.
Was it yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday was 8. So last one was 8.
No, go to number 1. Yeah, I understand. Go to number 2. Go to number 3. Sorry, not number 3, number 4. Maybe I erased it. All right, I'll just create a new one. Yeah, I might not have. I wrote it at some point, but then I might have just deleted it or something. The 5 main attributes of a leader, we gave lots of different attributes, but the 5 main attributes of a leader are 1, that they are independent. Thank you. Brain freeze.
That was a John thing.
Huh?
It was a John thing yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Problem solver. Consistent. Big vision. And they create action. I will say again, how do you identify people to get into this process? One identification is get them to core and then take inventory. You want to be, a really important question to ask people on your team, would you like to be mentored on how to be a great leader in network marketing? Would you like to be mentored on how to be a great leader inside of your organization? Would you like to be mentored? Because if you'd like to be mentored, here's the 3 things we look for. to be mentored. You need to be willing. You need to be coachable. And you need to be hungry. We're going to find that out with assignments. An assignment is get to core rank. Show me that you're hungry. Assignment is to get into the super recruiter group. Recruit 10 or more. An assignment is to take these different steps, and you're going to take those assignments up or down based upon their level of fear. Okay? But we're looking for these things. And as soon as somebody starts saying yes to more assignments, then you're going to be saying, let's work on how we can help you become more independent. So you start giving assignments that will cause them to be more independent. So an assignment is, I want you to do something without asking me. Go do that thing. You want to create an assignment around solving a problem. So a person brings you a problem and says, well, how do I solve this? Well, look, what would you do if I wasn't here? How would you solve the problem? You start mentoring them towards becoming a better problem solver. You need to mentor them towards consistency. And the assignments need to be driven around consistency, consistent behavior. You need to mentor them around their vision. What's your vision? Tell me your vision. Write up your vision. Make a video of your vision. Do a Facebook Live just talking about your vision. Give them assignment, designed around creating the vision. An assignment to create more action with campaigns or systems or whatever within the organization. This is how you develop these people into these attributes. Is your goal is for them to become independent from you as quickly as possible. Tell, show, try, do. Assignments, up or down. You're using these things in order to be able to drive these behaviors. But this is the mentorship process. This is mentorship. People need to feel like they're in a mentorship program just being in your team. I would tell you, look, if you're on my team, welcome to the organization. My goal is to take you out of tourist status and get you into a business builder status. The biggest way I do that is through the core rank and through the super recruiter, recruiting 10 or more. Okay, that's my big line. Everything before that is just going to be helping you get acclimated and get you going, right? Then I want to get you into core rank and super recruiter. From that, if you're ready, I'll start mentoring you to becoming a leader. Let me tell you what it takes to be a leader. Here's what it takes. Let me tell you what I need from you. I need these 3 things. Here's how I'm going to know that you got those 3 things. I'm going to be giving you assignments. And if they're too tough, I'll decrease them. If they're too easy, I'll increase them. And the goal here is to help you learn this. I'm going to mentor you to learn this so you don't need me. And when you do that, then you're free forever. How long did that conversation last? 60 seconds? 2 minutes? I have a 2-minute conversation with a person the first day they join. A 2-minute conversation. And in that 2-minute conversation, they know their entire career path. Get in, get acclimated, figure it out. I'm going to help you take these little steps just to hang around. Then we got core and super recruiter. And then I'm going to be looking for these 3 attributes. I'm going to start giving you assignments because we want to get you here. When I get you here, you have the beginning of freedom. When you can teach other people how to do the same thing, then you have total freedom. You in or you out. You want to go or not go. I mean, it's a really simple conversation, but it's way different than saying, please join my team. I'll do everything for you. You're dead. You're just going to kill yourself with that type of behavior. So, I hope you can join Beyond Leadership and come spend 4 days with me. It'd be so great in September, 16th through the 19th. And I hope you can be part of the Next Level Mastermind so you can get more of this every single week. I have 50 hours of this type of content that'll help you grow, that you can get over time? Most of you, I've given you the fire hose in these 6 hours, like fire hose like crazy, to give you all this stuff. Let me give you one more topic, which is I'll give you the fundamentals of a 12-month game plan. There's no online option for the Beyond Leadership event. That's only for the Next Level Mastermind. That's every week. It's in person regardless of COVID. We're asking people get tested. They can wear masks if they want. This is in September. It's special. Be in the house with us. I hope you're part of it. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so Beyond Leadership is just in person. The reason why we don't do an online option for Beyond Leadership is it's highly personal. I mean, it's emotional. There are tears, for sure. People experience a deep emotional breakthrough at this event. I only do it once a year. This one's in our home, very limited, very private. It's going to be special, okay? Yeah, can we share the notes pages, Sandy, in the member portal or somewhere these things?
I'm actually going to be making like the trafficking version.
Oh, that's right. We can get those up quick though, right?
I need like 2 weeks to get them all.
Those just pictures of these?
Oh, these. Yeah, we can share those. Yeah.
Okay, we can share those quickly. And Sandy is our producer here. She's going to be creating detailed notes from this entire event, detail of every single thing that we covered, and she's going to be sending that out to you over the course of the next, in about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. Please.
About 2 weeks, yeah. she'll be making that happen. Let's talk about the 12-month strategy and 12 months. I'm going to give you a very aggressive strategy. First of all, you need to look at your calendar. You need to figure out what campaigns you want to use and when. You need to set your goals. Income, rank, team, recruiting, etc. Skills, determine what your goals are. But I want to give you if you've ever seen my training, How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days, if you're a leader, you can figure that out. But the basics of How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days is to take a couple weeks to prepare and to negotiate with family and everything else, a couple weeks to pre-launch, and then recruit 20 people in 30 days. Then you have a little bit of a cool down period, and then you can decide how often you want to do that. But I want to give you kind of a intermediate and advanced 12-month calendar with that as a foundation. If this is a 12-month calendar, okay? So let's say you've got, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Now you pick when you want to start this, but I want to give you what my recommendation would be to you when it comes to how to map out your new team growth versus existing team growth strategy. There's a 20 and 30 concept. If you want to grow your business by say 10% year over year, take one time this year and do a 20 and 30. Boom. You did a 20 and 30, and then support for the next 11 months your existing, that team and your existing team with your systems and your campaigns and everything else. Support. If you do it once, you should have about 10% year-over-year growth. You do it one time, okay? If you do it twice, let's say you do it every 6 months. You do it in January and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months to support that group, and then you do it again in July. You do it twice in a year, you're gonna have like 40% plus growth year over year if you do it twice. Bring in 20 people here, support them for 5 months, help them become independent. Bring in another 20 people here, support them for 5 months, help them become independent. You want to grow 100 to 200% plus, do it 3 times. So you can do it every 4 months. You do it here, support them for 3 months, do it here, support those for 3 months, do it here. Okay? Now, depending on how big your organization is, if you're already making $1 million or plus, you got to decide. If you're making $1 million or more, I can't say necessarily you're going to triple your numbers, but if you're making 6 figures, I can reasonably say that a result of doing this 4 times a year will be 300% plus growth. So if you're making 100,000, you're going to go to 300,000 run rate. Okay, so if you're making 8,000 a month, you'll be at 25,000 a month by the time you're done doing this. Okay, at least, and that's doing it 4 times a year, which is something you can do. Which is bring this group in, train them for 2 months, bring in the next group, train them for 2 months, bring in the next group, train them for 2 months, bring in the next group, train them for 2 months. You do that 4 times, and you will grow like crazy, okay? 300%, if you're a 6-figure earner, for sure, 400%. If you're $1 million earner, you could probably add $1 million, something like that. Think about that. But before we open it up to some questions, I want to give you some closing comments, because there's a lot that I want to cover, and we don't have time to cover, and I want to be respectful of the time that we have. And I've given you a lot to do over the course of these 2 days, a lot to do. You have a lot of assignments of your own. There's a lot of campaigns you need to put into action. There's a lot of systems that need to be developed. There's a lot of mindset that needs to be changed. There's a lot of culture that needs to be developed. There's a lot of brand that needs to be thought about. A lot, okay? Every single one of you needs to think bigger. If we have any problem in network marketing, is because we have these small little products, and we have this small little price of entry, and we have this small little, everybody can, come on in, everybody can do it. So part-time, it's small. We're thinking way too small. We're thinking way too small. You need to think bigger. Every single one of you needs to think bigger than you've ever thought before. Whatever your goals are, you need to double them. You need to triple them. You need to quadruple them. You need to change your standard. You need to change your velocity. You need to change it all. You need to think bigger in terms of what you're going to develop, how much market share you're going to have in your company. You need to think bigger about all of this. Number 2, you need to be stronger. Stop whining and complaining and moaning and blaming other people for your problems, your upline or your downline. Stop it. Don't do it. Be stronger than that. Even if you only have to be strong in front of people, go be weak on your own, but be strong in front of your team. Your team needs you to be stronger now. The world is craving strong leadership. I've given you some roadmaps in order to become stronger, but you need to be stronger. Some of you are saying, oh, give me more. Come on, me. Bring more training. Go get it. Be stronger. Go to Beyond Leadership. You don't have to be a 6-figure earner to go. Get into the next level mastermind if you are a six-figure earner and above. Be stronger. Take the step. Face your fears. You know what I mean? You're bigger than this. You're bolder than this. Invest in you. The best thing I ever did in my life was get coaches. A coach is literally a time machine, moves you faster in your career without being older. Who wouldn't want to be better without being older? That's what coaches do. I have a coach for everything. Everything. To this day, I have a coach for everything. Get a coach. If it's not me, find somebody who's better than me. And if you find them, let me know. There's some amazing leaders inside of this group, but I'm always looking to learn, always. I've only been doing this for 32 years. If somebody's been doing it longer, has some more wisdom, I want to know, but be stronger. And finally, you need to move faster. Success loves speed. Go now. Don't spend too much time preparing and planning, doing it, someday. I'll start next year. I'll start next month. I'll start next whatever. Just go. Go. Success loves speed. Velocity is important. Momentum is critical. So think bigger, be stronger, and move faster, okay? The world needs you, and the world is not served by you playing small. I'm super proud of you for being part of this. I'm super proud of you for being plugged in. I'm super proud of you for taking the step and investing in yourself. This is just the beginning. It's the beginning. So if you want to hang out with me, this concludes our official event. I'll hang out for, I don't know how long, but I'll hang out and answer questions. So if you have questions, start putting them into the comments below or in the chat roll, and I'll start answering questions. I know that there's a little bit of lag, so just know that I'm proud of you. Whether you're attending inside of Next Level Mastermind or attending Beyond Leadership, regardless, the fact that you did this is a step, and I know you're going to be stronger with your leaders. And also, if you want to get the replay to be able to use with your team forever, then make sure that you click on the button to get the replay so you've got it to be able to show your team as long as you want. So comments should be coming in here quickly, whoever wants to ask first. All right, Claudia asks, what kind of staff should a top network marketing person look into having? Social media assistant, accounting. You can usually do accounting and legal as not necessarily employees, staff. You can have firms do it reasonably. Depending on how much you're earning, Claudia, if an assistant will help you do more type A behavior, high earning behavior, then get an assistant. Sometimes you can use a virtual assistant. Sometimes a social media person can help. I would just look at your needs and where are you spending time where you could be spending time more productively and staff yourself accordingly. That's what I would do.